Greetings, brothers and sisters. Tonight is January 28th, 2024. It's 5:16 p.m. This is our second mass meeting for the year of 2024 for the UNIA-ACL Division 421 here in Atlanta. Before we start our meeting, first thing we like to do is our pledge to the UNIA flag. If you would, for those that know it, please come off mute and say the pledge along with me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit to the protection, defense, and security of the red, black, and green. I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa and the liberation of her scattered Black children. I accept for myself and my descendants the teachings of universal African nationalism, and I promise that our children will be instilled with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people, in order that the cause of our struggle will be to falter nor fail until all Black people are free and united through one God, one aim, one destiny. Race first. So tonight's meeting is going to focus on our calendar for the year. Not finalized, but it is a draft, but it is a opportunity for us as members and us as leaders to provide input as to some of the things that we should be focused on, and just want to make sure we don't get to a lot of times throughout the year. Our main focus is Garvey Day in August. So we may miss some events in May and June. And then, after Garvey Day, we may miss some events September, October, November. So we just want to take a comprehensive look at the year and put as much of our own actions and activities into our calendar and make sure we have a robust year, a productive year, and we plan for an effective year. Any questions or comments on the calendar proposal for 2024 thus far? Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to do is roll call. So you got myself, Brother John, member number 306, president. We have Brother Art, member number 449, recording secretary. We have our treasurer, President Ross Marvin, member number 2. We have Dr. Shams, member 177, I believe, out of New York. We have Attorney Emotep, I believe, member 165 here in Atlanta. And then we have Brother Malik. Brother Malik, I can't remember your number off the top of my head, but vice president in training. So we got 6 total on the call thus far. Ground rules. Please keep your phone on mute when you're not speaking. Please take notes, and when it is your turn to speak, you can ask the questions that you've been saving. Sisters, do not give out your personal contact information. Please give out a business number as preferred. Don't use the N-word. Please try to refrain from profanity. We share these recordings with our youth. So, and enjoy yourselves. 433. All right, I see you, Brother Malik. You go on top of it. All right, if there aren't any questions, I will go straight into the draft of our calendar. We will have a more visual version very soon, hopefully with this coming newsletter. Yeah, so Everyone should have gotten this attachment in the email today, but it just goes through, as I said, the important dates for the year. And again, we'll have a visual version very soon. January 1st through 31st, we as members should make sure we pay our dues. We have a responsibility to our parent body, to our leadership, to make our yearly contribution. So we ask for members to pay their dues up front in January for the year and not have to worry about it for the rest of the year. So have to repeat that message. Most everyone on the call is active dues paying members, but for those that are watching the recording, that is a requirement for active status. Somebody have a question? Brother Art, I think your line is unmuted. Let me see. I don't know how to go through this. I don't necessarily want to go through each date. Maybe that's the best way of doing it. January 2nd, we had our officers training. We studied Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy. That was a Tuesday. January 6th, UNIA-ACL executive meeting. That would have been Saturday, the first Saturday of the month. We had our executive meeting. January 9th, which was the second Tuesday. Again, officers training, Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy. January 10th, we honor Amy Ashwood Garvey. That was her birthday. January 10th. January 11th. That's another Tuesday, I guess the third Tuesday. Officers training, Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy. January 14th was our first mass meeting of the year. Our topic was supposed to, well, we were supposed to talk, well, we're not supposed to, but our general topic for the first mass meeting of the year is Emancipation Day speech. Marcus Garvey's Emancipation Day speech. This year we had a guest speaker, Brother Lance Scurv was our guest speaker for our mass meeting. So we can discuss Emancipation Day speech at a later meeting or at a study group. January 23rd, this past Tuesday, officers training again, Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy. We just finished reading lesson 16 out of 22, so we got about 6 more weeks of that course. Let me see what else. January 28th, that's today, UNIA-ACL Division 421 mass meeting. Agenda topic is 421 schedule 2024. So that's what we are going through right now. And I'm only going to I'll go through February. We will revisit this at the beginning of each month, especially as an executive body, to know what's upcoming and make sure that we are well prepared for any events that we would like to put on or any events that we want to support. So finishing out the month of January, after tonight's mass meeting, we will have our officers training again on Tuesday, and that will be all of everything that we had for January. Not any events. We did Kwanzaa at the end of last year, so this was kind of a month for us to a little bit rest up and prepare for the upcoming months. I don't think, so I'm not sure if we got anything for February, but I definitely know that we're in discussion about doing something for March. Any questions so far? Okay. February 3rd. February 3rd will be the first Saturday. We'll have a executive meeting. We will be following up on some of the items that we talked about on the 6th, specifically updates to our division bylaws. Ross Marvin has been working diligently behind the scenes, updating our division bylaws. As a matter of fact, I'll send out those updates today. And I need our officers to review those, study those in preparation of our upcoming executive meeting. But our bylaws and the responsibilities within the bylaws are the fundamental components for us as a division to grow as well as sustain. Um, we've been focusing a lot on the events in the past few months. We need to, we don't want to forget our foundation. And that's what we will kind of rediscuss again this coming executive meeting is the foundation, how we got to where we are, how we can continue to build to get to our goal of 500 active members. February 6th will be the first Tuesday of February. We'll continue our officers training, Message to the People, course of African philosophy. That'll probably be lesson 18 at that point. February 4th, this got canceled, the Youth Division 421 Youth Health Science Fair. We will not be having a Youth Health Science Fair this year. So we do need to think about and consider how we engage with the youth, how we engage with the local schools. This was one of those opportunities. This is opportunity that we're losing, so we need to find a way to replace it and make sure that we don't again lose focus of engaging with our youth. I just went through our January schedule, asked for feedback questions, and everybody's reviewing it and going through it themselves. But we should be considering, we have to think about what we want the division to be known for. And if there are any things that we want to do, we need to make sure that they're being discussed and planned. So whether that's charity events, whether that's back to school programs, we need to make sure we are proactive and planning ahead. These are annual events that happen year after year after year after year. And for some reason, we always tend to wait until a week before, a month before, to start discussing how we can get involved in these opportunities. So again, just for the leadership, for the membership, that's what I love about the month of January. We try to use it as a month of planning and preparation so that the remaining 11 months we can execute the plan that we established in the first month. So that's what this is about. And that's the importance of this meeting and the importance of everyone's input. Continuing the month of February 11th, UNIA Division 421 mass meeting. Agenda topic, message to the people review. Something don't seem right about that one. As far as the topic for that may change. Message to the people review. I don't know why we would discuss that in February. Continuing on, February 13th, that will be a Tuesday, and that is officers training, which is Message to the People course of African philosophy. February 21st, we honor the birth of Professor Dr. Tony Martin. February 20th, officers training again, Message to the People course of African philosophy. February 25th is our second mass meeting of the month of February. That'll be the fourth Sunday. Topic for that meeting will be Professor Tony Martin and his legacy and input to the history of the UNIA and Marcus Garvey. February 27th is the last Tuesday of February. We finish up our officers training on that day. We have an exam. The students will have an exam on the first Saturday in March, but I don't think that's on the calendar. So at the end of February, officers will have completed officers training, and the Tuesday sessions will kind of open up for other opportunities for other study groups. One thing that we're looking at now is Constitution, and I'm glad that's actually in there. So yeah, that's February. Any questions, comments on February? And as you can see, one of the big focuses that I've had is course of African philosophy, Message to the People course of African philosophy. I feel like that is a fundamental component for officers. In addition to our orientation, in addition to our, we will get into specific officers training, but Message to the People course of African philosophy, in my opinion, is a fundamental component to any individual in a position of leadership in the UNIA. Any questions, comments on January and/or February?
Yes, President John. Greetings.
Greetings.
How you doing? When he had started in the beginning, I don't know if he was referring that the calendar will soon be sent out for today. That calendar that you're reading.
Yeah.
The calendar was sent out on the 14th at the first mass meeting this year.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought that was just CBPM.
No, the 14th is the second Sunday of the month. The first Sunday of the month was the 7th. And then the first Sunday of the year, that's when the CBPM calendar was sent out. And the UNIA calendar was sent out on the 14th. So I don't know if you want to refer to it, but when you had first given us the calendar in December for 2024, you didn't have land scurvy on the schedule for the 14th.
Yes.
You had the calendar scheduled. So because we was putting it out on the 14th and land scurvy was our guest, we had put him on the calendar for the 14th and the schedule for the 28th. But the schedule has been out for the year. The schedule for the year has been out since the 14th. If you pull up the 14th Whirlwind, you'll see the schedule that you gave us that's in the Whirlwind newsletter.
Okay, I'm looking for it now. I had a lot going on the 14th. 14th. Let me check my promotions. 13, 16. Brother Art, can you confirm the receipt of the calendar on the 14th?
Yeah.
Might have came out the day after the 15th. Just check but I know that we did the calendar already in the Whirlwind from the first meeting for the year. If you want, I can forward it to you.
Please. Oh, wait. I think this is it right here. 15. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay, 15. Thank you, Brother Ross. And again, like I said, there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes. These documents that I'm presenting don't come out of thin air. They have to be produced. So officers, be prepared. Come our February officers meeting, we need to start stepping up to lighten the load on these responsibilities and make sure the proper individuals are taking care of their office. So thank you, Brother Ross. So again, we've got January and February. So if you can refer to your January 15th email, everyone should have this information. Shall I continue to March?
March on.
Yes, sir. Okay. So March 2nd will be the first Saturday of March, as everyone should see the routine. First Saturday of the month, we come together as an executive body and plan for that month and make sure we have everything in place for that month. And actually, I've tried to get us to kind of look a couple months in advance. You know, we don't want to wait until March to start looking at April. I had to think of the next month. Sometimes we can February, you know, we could deal with March and put some suggestions for April as well. So, but at the end of the day, officers, our meetings are of the utmost importance. This is where we come together. This is where we have discussions, and this is where we decide what needs to be done, and we carry it out. So, you know, this year we have to be as diligent as possible about attending meetings. So that's first Saturday in March. And then the first Tuesday in March, we will be studying UNIA-ACL Government Constitution. This is not anything new. It is of the utmost importance, and it is something that we want to, I think we should make an annual process. And I have to be careful about that because we already have message to the people, you know, 6 months out of the year. If we add another, you know, 3 month annual program, that means 9 months out of every year, we've got some programs going on, which is good, but it puts a lot on those that are responsible to present and attend. So government constitution will be our next topic of study. Yeah, March 10th will be the second Sunday. Second Sunday will be our first mass meeting of March. Topic will be Division 421, Office of Corresponding Secretary and Financial Secretary. So knowing roles and responsibilities and getting to know our local officers. March 12th will be the next Tuesday, continuing UNIA-ACL Government Constitution. March 23rd, Marcus Garvey came to the United States of America, so we remember March 23rd. March 24th, UNIA-ACL mass meeting. Topic will be Division 421, Office of President and Office of Lady President. Then our last meeting that we have for March thus far, again, this is a draft. If we want to add anything, this is not the only opportunity, but this is a chance to think about that. UNIA-ACL Government Constitution, we will be studying there. And we will be studying the Constitution up until, yep, we got it perfect, up until High Executive Council. So we got Constitution, High Executive Council, and then we switch to philosophies and opinions. But again, I think this is a great annual practice. High Executive Council is extremely important, as well as convention. And this is where the laws of the Constitution, the policies of the UNIA are discussed and voted upon. So it just makes a lot of sense for us to take a couple of weeks prior to HEC to make sure we have a good understanding of the Constitution, as well as we can discuss proposals for resolutions. So I think that's a great follow-up to philosophies and opinions, and I think that's a great preparation for High Executive Council. So Government Constitution into April, first Tuesday. April 5th, we acknowledge Booker T. Washington's birth. April 6th, UNIA-ACL Division 421 executive meeting. So that'll be the first Saturday of April. April 9th, and there we'll kind of finalize HEC at that point, which we kind of maybe February executive meeting. We probably need to get some updates on what the plan is for HEC. Officers and members that would like to attend, we need to start getting these numbers finalized. Let's see, UNIA-ACL executive meeting. April 9th is the second Tuesday, no, second Sunday. No, it's not. It's a Tuesday. Topic is UNIA-ACL Government Constitution. That's a study group. April 13th, we acknowledge Dr. Julius Nyeri, the namesake of our division and the leader of the nation of Tanzania. Let's see. April.
He's not the current leader. He was the first leader.
I didn't. Well, yeah, I didn't mean to say current. Yes, he was the leader, the first democratically elected president of Tanzania, to my understanding. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But yes, we are the Dr. Julius Nyeri CBPM division of the UNIA-ACL. We should honor and acknowledge that our ancestor that we chose for our division. And I don't know if we've got we'll probably make some time in April to go over what we have for the history of Dr. Julius Nyeri and why we have him as the name of our division. April 16th, UNIA-ACL Division 421 Study Group. So we will be coming back from High Executive Council, and we will shift our study group focus from Constitution over to philosophies and opinions. Potentially, we can also discuss race first. We haven't reviewed that text in a few years either, but I do want to make sure Constitution and philosophy of opinions, not philosophy and opinions, Constitution as well as message to the people are fundamental. I don't want anything to be of any more importance to us than those two texts. Other than that, it should be our local division bylaws. That should also be up there. Let's see. UNIA-ACL Division 421 Study Group. 21st, we have a mass meeting. We don't have a topic right now, so if anyone would like to make a presentation, that would be a good time. Will be the 21st of April. April 23rd, we continue study group, philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey. April 30th, our fourth. Oh, that's a Tuesday. So it looks like there we have the study groups discussing Race First by Dr. Tony Martin. And I think we kind of alternate. Any questions on May, March or April? Sorry. No questions, March or April? Okay. Yeah. So going into May, same basic template. First Saturday, executive meeting. Tuesday, study group, philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey. First mass meeting will be Division 421 vice presidents. Second mass meeting, it looks like it's Division 421 vice presidents as well. So it may be male and lady vice presidents. May 25th, we have African Liberation Day. We usually host or co-host or support other Black organizations here in Atlanta that are hosting or acknowledging and celebrating African Liberation Day. So one of our events that we want to make sure we highlight and we continue to acknowledge every year. Also, we don't have it up here, but Malcolm X Day is in May. And there's a group, Malcolm X Grassroots Movement, who usually has an event on the weekend of his birth. So that's something else that we will, it may not be on this calendar, but it is something that we will acknowledge and support as that time gets closer. Let's see. It looks like the second mass meeting. This is interesting. We got this, something's wrong with this one. Look, I guess there's three 2nd, 4th. So May, we should have the 12th and the 26th. 12th and the 26th. What did I read? What is this 21st? 21st would be a study group. So that wouldn't be division presidents. That would be a study group, most likely philosophies and opinions. Okay. That takes care of May, takes us into June. But I'm not going to keep repeating the normal stuff. Every first Saturday, we have an executive meeting. The Tuesdays, we have study groups. So this month of June, the study group will be focused on philosophies and opinions. June 10th, we acknowledge Marcus Garvey's transition to the ancestors. June 11th, UNIA Division 421, our 2024 pre-election discussion. So that'll be the second Sunday of June. We'll discuss election, and then 2 weeks later, the 23rd, we will have our election. So we have our elections on the 4th June of the year, and that will decide the officers for the upcoming year. But per the Constitution of the UNIA, we are required to have annual elections. July, so that's June. July, let's see, obviously executive meeting, Marcus Garvey reading from Race First Introduction. So mass meeting, the first mass meeting will be reading of Race First, the introduction. Study groups will be focused on philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. Wait a minute. Yeah, that was June. I'm in July. July 19th, we acknowledge the UNIA-ACL being founded by Marcus Garvey and Amy Ashwood Garvey. The 4th Sunday of July, we will discuss the 5 things our ancestors did to establish UNIA-ACL global government. Also in July, I would like to, in July, we plan to have an orientation. So we've gone through 6-7 months of the year, and we haven't mentioned a local orientation. So that's something that officers, we really need to figure out. When would be a good time to have our annual orientation? What comes to my mind is sometime in July. It's after elections, and it's before Garvey Day. But something to think about, officers. We are open to suggestions, but right now, I would say be prepared for orientation in July. That takes care of any questions so far, June, July. Okay, going into August, month of Mosiah, our most important month of the year. But in order for us to be effective in August, we should be planning, throughout the year like we're doing right now. So, I just like what we're doing. I'm proud of what we're doing. August 1st, we acknowledge our first Negro People's Convention of the world, 1920, August 1st through August 1st through August 31st, 1920. August 1st, we acknowledge the UNIA plebiscite at Madison Square Garden, one of the requirements to establish a government. August 3rd will be the first Saturday of August, executive meeting. I'm sure the topic at that point, and probably a topic in June and July as well, will be Marcus Garvey Day. So this one will be final preparations for Garvey Day, and just crossing our T's, dotting our I's for Garvey Day in August. August 11th, our first mass meeting of August. We will go over the reading of the Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World. And that is to honor August 13th. And remember August 13th, 1920, which is the actual day that the Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World was issued. So trying to stay in line with that, honor our history, honor our ancestors, and remember our legacy. August 13th, UNIA-ACL Division 421 Study Group. We'll talk about the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. Remember August 15th, 1920, as the day that the red, black, and green flag was introduced to the world. And in the past 3 years, we've done a caravan. I've got to get with Brother Kenwardo to organize that as well this year, but we plan to have a caravan the week before Garvey Day. So that would be, looks like the 11th or the 12th. I think it's the 11th, 10th or the 11th. I think it's the 10th. It'd be the 10th of August. August 17th, 1887, Marcus Garvey was born. And this year, 2024, August 17th falls on a Saturday. So we plan to host our Marcus Garvey Day on Marcus Garvey's birthday. One thing to keep in mind for the officers, the parent body and leadership has decided to host convention at this time as well. So some of our officers, we will have to decide whether we will be here in Atlanta celebrating Garvey Day or if we will be in New York on August 17th celebrating Garvey Day. Something we have to discuss and something that we have to be prepared for as a division. So very important, August 17th, that is convention. August 25th, UNIA mass meeting. Topic is USA versus UNIA part 1. That'll probably change. Coming out of Garvey Day, that's our first big meeting where we hope to bring in a lot of new recruits. So this past year, I think one of the topic that we discussed was why I joined the UNIA. But going through the new members' applications, so that they can express why they joined the UNIA, why they wanted to be a part of the UNIA, and also allowing our veteran members to go through, when they joined the UNIA, why they joined the UNIA, as well as why they're still here. So I expect that to be the topic of August 25th, personally. August 27th, that'll be a study group, Philosophy and Opinions, Course of African Philosophy. August 31st, UNIA-ACL government was established, and also we should be celebrating August 31st, 1920, UNIA-ACL government was officially established. And August 31st, per the Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World, is declared to be the International African Independence Day. So we should, and I do think that this would be a good opportunity for us to plan for an event this year for that specifically. This is, when we talk about like Christmases and New Year's and all of these special days, this is our special day that we created. Outside of Marcus Garvey's birthday, which is, that was created by God. But this is a day that we as a people came together and said, we are going to celebrate this day for this purpose. So we need to continue that and promote that to the rest of our people, because a lot of our people, even myself, did not know, about the importance of August 31st and that we should be celebrating August 31st. So I'll stop there for a second. Any questions, comments on the month of August? Very important month. Okay. All right, September. First Saturday is the 7th executive meeting. Second Sunday will be the 8th. Looks like we're talking about USA versus UNIA. September 17th is a study group, message to the people. So yeah, in September, we will restart our officers training. So July, we have our June, we got election. July, we have orientation. August, Marcus Garvey Day and convention. September, we start officers training over again for the new batch of officers, as well as current officers. Because yeah, we'll talk about that later in officers training. And then September 22nd, UNIA Division 421 mass meeting. So that's the second Sunday or fourth Sunday, sorry, in September. Topic there is the UNIA officer training. So letting the membership know, general membership know about the officers training, what it is, when Mr. Garvey created it, why he created it, and why we continue that practice today. But given the general membership, something to look forward to, either at that time to participate in at that time, or to think about participating in the following year. September 24th, so that is a Tuesday, and we will be going through Message to the People course of African philosophy. That would be looks like the second session of the 2024 class. October. October officers train. Well, not officers training. It is. Yeah, officers training is the first. The 1st of October will fall on a Tuesday. It'll be officers training. The 5th of October, executive meeting. Every Tuesday, officers training. October 9th, we acknowledge Counsel General Farouk Muhammad. We should know who Counsel General Farouk Muhammad is, former Counsel General of the UNIA-ACL, and helped to reaffirm or to reveal the fact that Mr. Garvey and the UNIA established a government, a global government, and that government was still present, waiting to be reactivated. So that was one of Mr. or Counsel General Farouk Muhammad's great contributions. President Ross Marvin is a student of Counsel General Farouk Muhammad. We acknowledge and honor him as an ancestor, and I think we will spend some time at a mass meeting discussing him. So probably October 13th, we will acknowledge the memory of Counsel General Farouk Muhammad. October 15th is Tuesday, officers training. October 22nd, Tuesday, officers training. October 27th, mass meeting. Agenda topic, we have not decided, so an opportunity for someone to make a presentation if they would like. October 29th, Tuesday, officers training. That completes October. So for what we got right now, well, no. Also in October, that's what we have done. We haven't added it to the official calendar, but let me see. October, someday in October, maybe the 29th, we would like to do our Ancestors Day. So acknowledgement of our ancestors, a flip on Halloween, but we've done this for a couple of years now. We would like to continue that this year in October. The 29th falls on a Tuesday. The 31st falls on a Thursday. I'm not sure what day we would like to use, but that's another update to the calendar. November 2nd will be the first Saturday, executive meeting. 5th of November, the first Tuesday, officers training. November 10th is the second Sunday. Topic there will be Division 421, Office of Universal African Black Cross Nurses. Officers training the following Tuesdays. And then on the 24th of November, that mass meeting will be focused on a speech Mr. Garvey gave titled The Principles of the UNIA. That speech was given in 1922, in November of 1922. November 22nd, I believe, 1922. And that's why we go over it around that time of the year, every year, as again, a reminder. We finished November with officers training. December, start the year, message to the people, course of African philosophy. Then November 7th, why is it November 7th? That should probably be December 7th. Executive meeting, December 8th, UNIA mass meeting, so that's the second Sunday. Topic will be Amy Jocks Garvey and Amy Ashwood Garvey, so the Amy Garveys. December 15th, mass meeting. Topic will be Kwanzaa, and we would like to have a Kwanzaa event. So December 27th. Let's see. And I forgot something in November as well. December, it may be 31st this year or 24th. No, it can't be 24th. It may be the 31st this year. We'll have a day for Kwanzaa where we celebrate Kwanzaa locally with the community. What I forgot for November is our we would like to continue our awards giveaway. So let me see. Instead of doing Thanksgiving, we call it Giving Thanks. In October, we acknowledge our ancestors that are no longer here. In November, we would like to acknowledge our brothers and sisters that are contributing to the struggle or to our liberation that are still here. That would probably be sometime in the last week of November, to be determined. Let's see. And I think I just talked about December, Kwanzaa. At the end of December, December 31st, we acknowledge Sister Amy Jocks Garvey. And that that concludes our current UNIA-ACL Division 421 calendar for the year 2024. Big takeaways. Executive meetings every month, officers training, study groups, Constitution. Those are some of the big takeaways. And then we have obviously the topics of the mass meetings and then our High Executive Council in April and convention in August. But those are the focuses for me, in addition to the events that we would like to plan and host throughout the year. Any questions, comments, concerns for our calendar? Is there anything that we're missing?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, Diane.
So as far as the calendar goes, there's no room to add any like guest speakers to spruce things up a little bit.
Yes,
or
sir.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just an outline. If we don't have anything else, this would be the default plan.
Okay.
I actually have a question also. How far in advance would you say that significant updates need to be? I don't know how to explain that, put in, if that makes sense. So like if we came up, like how Sister Diane just said, a guest speaker, how far in advance would we need to have that guest speaker, or how far in advance would we need to update that calendar?
Well, for a speaker for a mass meeting, personally, I would say I would like 2 weeks. Ross Marvin, if you got any comment, you can share as well. I'd like 2 weeks, at minimum, 1 week. If we're talking about an event, hosting an event, planning an event, we need at least 1 month of promotion. So at least a month and a half, 2 months for an event. If it's an event that we want to host, if it's an event that someone else is hosting, shoot, you can let 2 weeks, a week in advance. We can get that on the calendar.
Yes, I have a comment.
Wait, let me make sure Brother Eric was taken care of.
Yep, that covers what I was thinking with that. That's okay. You can go on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ross Marvin.
Yes. There's a purpose for the calendar, y'all. Okay. Because if you look that on what's scheduled either for the mass meetings or whatever is scheduled during the year, it's focused on UNIA business, y'all.
Yes, sir.
And until we tune into UNIA business, we're missing the beat. President John had said there are 2 days in the calendar, I think even one in March coming up, where we don't have anything scheduled. So the days for guest speaker is those, we always leave 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 mass meetings open where we can have guest speakers or something like that. But let's not schedule guest speakers when we have important UNIA business to take care of, because that's taking us off where we should be. The guest speakers are important, don't get me wrong, but there's room in the calendar. If you look at the calendar, there's days at mass meetings where it might be saying to be announced, or as President John mentioned as he's reading the calendar, there's a couple of days where there wasn't anything scheduled. So if we're gonna have a guest speaker, that will be the day to have them where we don't have something scheduled. But if we have a UNIA business to be discussed, let's not put a guest speaker in front of the business of the UNIA.
I agree. Well,
Does anyone else have a question? Because I also have
Yeah.
something else.
well, yeah, hold on, Brother Eric. I'm actually trying to formulate my thoughts.
But I'm very glad that he brought that up. But y'all go ahead. I'm gonna.
Let me play the other side. President Ross, I'm 100% in support of what you're saying, but I know that there's thoughts to the contrary. So how do we, in addition to the importance of the work that needs to be done, that must be a priority, that must be first. But how do we attract our common brothers and sisters, if we only are focusing on the work? Where is I think the word that comes to my mind is somewhat of an entertainment or informative, outside of UNIA government. One of the things that we would, like if it's a self-defense, someone wanted to, discuss self-defense or something, how would we be able to incorporate that into our normal schedule?
Okay, what we should all acknowledge is that, first of all, whenever it comes to suggestion and ideas, we still haven't taken care of the business of the UNIA. So I feel that right now, and I'm going to make a proposal in the next executive meeting, that because for the last 6 months, I'm assuming that we had the contract with Omanala from October last year.
Yes. No, November.
Okay, well, it's going to be total 5 months because it goes to the end of February.
It should be 4 months: November, December, January, February.
Okay, 4 months.
Yes.
So for the last 4 months, we've been focusing on having external events, having events. We definitely need a report to the officers and the members on how the last 4 months or the 4 months at Omanala turned out. Because I heard you had mentioned, President John, that at the end of February, we discussed whether we should continue it or not, and so
Yes.
on.
Yes.
But I was gonna say this for the executive meeting, but I'm gonna share it now. I'm gonna make a motion that for the next 4 to 6 months, we focus internally on the UNIA.
Hmm.
Because all we're doing is every event, every month is another event, another event, another event. I heard you mention earlier in the meeting today, President John, that, okay, we'll think about another event for March. Come on, y'all. We're not doing the business of the UNIA. Whenever we're doing external stuff, we're not taking care of our internal responsibility. In our bylaws, there's over 430 different responsibilities we have to do. And I'm going to make a motion that we don't have no more events until Marcus Garvey Day.
Hmm.
Because anybody who want to deal with an event, start planning for Marcus Garvey Day. As President Chan say, we wait until the last week or the month before to start planning for our events. This year, let's make it different. Let's start planning. Those who want to deal with having an event, focus on planning for Marcus Garvey Day. Start getting vendors from now. Secure the place and other things that need to be done. Because right now, every time we bring in external stuff, whether guest speakers or events, we're not dealing with the business of the UNIA. And that's what I have to say. There are a couple days, and I'm looking at the calendar now, and I'll tell you those days that are open for guest speakers. If we look at the calendar, February 25th, we have Dr. Tony Martin.
Mhm.
You said February 13th, Message to the People. That's a mass meeting, course of African philosophy. Hold on. No, excuse me. February 11th, you said Message to the People review.
Yes.
You said that might have to change.
Yes.
So there's a day where maybe we could have a guest speaker, February 11th.
Mhm.
Okay. We got to look at the based on the calendar. What's in the calendar is number one, because that deals with UNIA business. So that's one date that is open for a guest speaker, February 11th. March, we're looking at March now. There's no days open on March for a guest speaker. Looking at April. Okay, so we have HEC is April 11th. So April 14th, we have Dr. Julius Nahiri as one of the mass meeting topics.
Yes.
And look at April 21st on the calendar. April 21st, UNIA Division 421 mass meeting. It says topic TBA, to be announced. No, that is the day where you plan a guest speaker, April 21st. So there are days, there are spots in the calendar where we can have a guest speaker, where there's either TBA to be announced or Message to the People review that wasn't supposed to be there. And if you go out through the year, there's other days what's mass meetings that we can have a guest speaker. But with the days when we have mass meeting and we have a topic, let's focus on our topic, y'all. Race first.
Yes, sir. I second Ross Marvin's statements. We've been working very hard to do the best that we can to highlight the division in a positive way in an effort to increase membership. And I'm very proud of our attempts and not giving up on the idea. But I do agree with Ross Marvin. We've got to get back to the fundamentals. We've got to, let's take a step back. Let's plan for Garvey Day as an event. And let's stabilize ourselves as a division and as an executive body of leadership, so that, the second half of the year, and 2025, 2026, we're moving much smoother, because we just don't want to get into a pattern of, and we did this last year, constantly putting on events, planning for events, but not necessarily executing as we could. So Let's come back inside. Let's get the internals right. Let's understand our roles and responsibilities. Let's understand, how we hold each other accountable. Let's understand who's supposed to be doing what, and then we can get back to events and hosting events. And
In other words, for example, President John, we want to have events and we want to have guest speakers. But how much of us know the pledge to the red, black, and green?
yes, sir.
We're not talking about learning UNIA fundamentals.
Yes, sir.
How could we want to bring in guest speakers and having events and we don't even know our pledge to the red, black, and green? Less than 10 to 15 lines that we have to know, and we don't even know that. Come on, y'all. We need to, this is UNIA. This is not anything external. We need to deal with UNIA business. That's what we are, the UNIA Division 421.
Yes, sir.
How much of us officers know what is our responsibilities in our office? We don't even know what our responsibilities are, but yet we want to have an event or we want to bring in a guest speaker. Come on, y'all. We got to know the foundation, what we're dealing with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100% agree. Yeah, we're overlooking the fundamentals. So until we can master the fundamentals, we can display a level of mastery of the fundamentals. That is where we'll have our focus as a division.
And I wanted to second that too, President John, Brother Omasis. I'm sorry, I'm in a bad service area, so I might go in and out. But I just wanted to second it. And also by saying that we don't lose what we're trying to achieve by having events. If we still have one event, the fundamental event is the mass meeting. And we should be promoting that as the event. So if we don't have any other events, we can still have the fundamental event, and also being able to market for Garvey Day, we can still continue that energy. Even if it's the one event, we still can get participation from the community through their commitments to Garvey Day. So I second it, but I just want to second it and just say that we don't necessarily have to lose the community engagement. We can still do that by just focusing on Garvey Day, and also by focusing on the fundamental event, which is our mass meeting.
Anyone else have any comments before I speak again?
I wouldn't consider the mass meeting as an event. I would consider the mass meeting more as business, UNIA business. Come on, y'all. Name me a Black organization that was built from having events. Do you think that's how the UNIA was built, from having events?
Well, let's talk, President Ross. When I heard Brother Omasius in his comments, and I think of Garvey's time, and who Garvey was and what Garvey represented, would you say that his mass meetings were in effect somewhat of an event? They were somewhat of a spectacle, not necessarily the glitz and glamour, but the message, the level of excitement that he was able to bring,
The main excitements and main events that was brought to during Garvey time was the conventions. Those were the big events, conventions and the HEC, the 2 yearly meetings for the year. The other things during that time, what the UNIA was involved in during Garvey's time, is the Negro World, producing our own publication.
Okay.
The Black Star Line. Other things that will fall in that area. of what the UNIA was about 100 years ago is building the numbers, building the membership. Over 10 million brothers and sisters. And remember, there was over 1,100 divisions of the UNIA. Each division was focusing on their jurisdiction, their region. So Garvey wasn't about events. It was about building a government, building a nation. And that's where we're losing focus in today's time. We're not focused upon building the local government, Division 421, or building the parent body government. We're focusing on things external, which is okay and good, and there's room in the calendar for it. But that shouldn't be when one event finished. Last Thursday business meeting, I just kept on getting a dagger stabbed in my chest, because right away the first thing that was discussed was another event. Every time one event finished, we ain't got time to discuss UNA business because we're talking about let's have another event. That's why I need a report from the last 4 months at Omanala. How well did we do in having events? How much money did we spend? How much new members did we get? How much funds did we bring into the division? What was the attendance? Because y'all will see, based upon the proof is in the pudding, that having events is just draining our funds and not building the UNIA. And the reason why it's not building the UNIA, because we're not preparing properly for the events. The events comes as an idea from one of our heads, and then we say, oh yeah, let's do this event. But yet there's no preparation, there's no notification of the members that we're having an event. There's no flyer that comes out a month before the event. There's no reaching out, calling the members, trying to get them on the board with the event. There's members' information where we don't have their up-to-date phone number, or we don't have a good email for them. There's no effort in us trying to get our members' contact information updated. So how are we going to have an event and we don't even have our internals organized? Our events would always not be successful except for Marcus Garvey Day. And I would say the Kwanzaa event was kind of successful. We had a good turnout, we had a good program. And the other event that was successful is our awards ceremony. That was even more successful than our Kwanzaa event. But other than, for the last 6 months, other than Marcus Garvey Day, the award ceremony, and the Kwanzaa event, that was the only 3 events that I would say was average or above average in success. Every other thing that we planned was unsuccessful, meaning that we spent, but we didn't get a return.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Garvey wasn't about having events. Garvey was about building the government of the UNIA. And that's what we have to understand. Having events, having guest speakers, that's not building the government. We got to be about building our government.
Yes, sir.
That's the only way we reached to having 477 members today. We didn't reach the 477 members from having events.
From having events.
Well, President Ross, I must say, I have to speak for others. In essence, we did, well, you know better than me. As of recently, our best recruiting tool has been Marcus Garvey Day, which is our major event throughout the year. It is through that success of that event that had encouraged other officers to have the idea of, if we can be successful here in August, why can't we, do that more often throughout the year and have a larger recruiting number, if we do it more often. That was my understanding of the event's proposal.
You could estimate that for Marcus Garvey Day, the most members that we ever had on Marcus Garvey Day I think was back like 2018, maybe 2019, we had 44 new members. This past year, we had about 20-something members.
Yes.
But the other Marcus Garvey days, we didn't have more than 10 to 20 members join. So Marcus Garvey Day is responsible for, I would say, less than 50% of our event, our membership. If we have 477 members, maybe 200 members signed up for Marcus Garvey Day. Most of our members, at least 50%, signed up online through our division having an online presence and online membership application. President John, how about yourself? How did you sign up to the UNIA?
What I was online information.
That's what I'm trying to say. We ain't focusing on trying to rebuild our online presence and get back our membership application online so that while we sleep, somebody could be joining and paying dues. We don't even have that implemented as I speak right now.
Yes. Yes.
I'm from the old school, y'all. When it comes to a movement, it has to be about works. It has to be about works.
It's about work. That's right.
All of our people's organization, whether it was the Nation of Islam didn't grow from having events. The Nation of Islam grew from having taken care of their business, what the business of the nation is. You look at any Black movement, they didn't grow from having events, they grew from taking care of their business of what their organization is about.
That's right.
How many events do you see? Local, yeah, the nation, local chapters are having different events and so on. But it's about the structure of the entity of the Black organization we're talking about, race first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear, President Ross. And as I said, I agree. I'm just speaking for those that are afraid to speak up or don't have the articulation to speak up. So, but I agree with you 1,000%. We'd have to focus on the fundamentals. And our February executive meeting, which we will have in a few days later, or next week, this weekend coming up, that'll be the first opportunity for us to refocus. So anyone else, any comments, questions, especially from officers?
I have something on the for events. I agree entirely with what Brother Ross is saying. The only sorry about this thing, I'm getting gas, but the only deviation from that I would want to ask for his input on is or actually everybody who has a mic really, but as far as our and again, I just to be, I know this is recorded also, so I would like to say that I'm one of the more new members. So the things that were included in the responsibilities and the reasons that he was saying, like we don't know our pledge, our interior works are in very bad shape. We do very well, of course, like brother John was saying. I do agree with that. I feel like we do our best. I think everyone does very well. That's part of what brought me in. Everybody's like attempts and their dedication to it. But a type of question that I want to ask about that a little bit, just for us to think about, is I know that you're not saying that they shouldn't be, brother Ross, but how included should events be into that schedule based on that? So for example, I think you said March. Or no, I'm sorry, you didn't say March. You said after Garvey Day. So one of the questions I was going to ask before all this, I've just been listening. What I was going to ask was, in that schedule, in our calendar, where in that would you guys where'd you guys say there is space for events? That's what I was going to ask. And then we got into this topic, and that's very, very interesting to me because just in general. So if I'm going to stop there actually and listen for a comment about what I asked just now before I go on a little more, if I can. So so I guess, Brother Ross, do you agree that events should be in our responsibilities once we're capable of doing it a little more like consistently? Or do you feel that the UNIA's works should be focused on that and there should be like events should be left to parts of either us or in general that can handle that type of thing. Not that we can't, but it would where would you say events fit into our responsibilities?
Oh, good question, Brother Eric. When it comes to events, y'all, what happened is that we have not shown that we're able to have events and take care of UNIA business at the same time. Because I had to have my mouth zipped for the last 4 months. And I couldn't go against anything, any event that anybody's saying. I couldn't criticize it. I couldn't say whatever anybody suggested in doing, I could not be against it. The only thing I can do is support it. And that's what I've been doing. But now that we're coming to the end, where next month is our last month of the contract with Omanala, I kept my mouth closed because I wanted us all to see what was produced. What is the results of us having events? And we've been doing it. And until I can see the proof is in the pudding that events was beneficial, I'm against it. Because the reason why I'm against it is because we're not taking care of our business, internal business as UNIA.
Exactly.
There's over 400 things that we have to do. And I find myself doing by myself over 50 of the things for the division. And I don't have no help. I'm doing the birthday greetings every day, the Whirlwind newsletter, the bylaws, every damn thing that we need. Excuse my language.
So
and everybody else is focused on not having another event. Come on, y'all. If I walk away, Division 421 is going to be hollow.
I agree.
If I do like Sister Tania saying there's enough people in Atlanta, why should Sister Tania all the way down in Dallas, Texas be doing works for Atlanta when the people in Atlanta is not even doing works for Atlanta?
Yep.
All we're talking about is having another event. Come on, y'all. I'm not going to be around forever to hold up the Whirlwind. I'm not going to be around forever to hold up the birthday greetings. President John mentioned last month, he did the birthday greetings and he was only able to last 3 months. I've been doing it since 2006, every day. And that's what's been keeping members to know so that we still exist, because they might not hear from us during the year, but they'll hear from us on their birthday. I've been doing the Black government IDs for everybody. I've been doing everything that the division have to do. Myself, Brother Art, I respect Brother Art because Brother Art has been joining with me last few months from last year, October, November. Me and Brother Art been working together. But we need more members, more officers to step up and deal with the internal works of the organization. In other words, Brother Eric, to answer your question, events don't come before the responsibilities of the division. Events don't come before the bylaws. So let's see if we can do both the bylaws, our responsibilities, and throw in 1 and 2 events. But if we can't even do, up to now we ain't doing it with the bylaws, why are we talking about more events for? Any body officer that has an office position, can you tell me off the top of the head, what is your responsibility in your office stated by the bylaws? But yet we want to talk about having another event? So that's why when March comes, I'm putting a motion, no more events. If you want to deal with an event, plan for Marcus Garvey Day. So that way we can get in front of the curve instead of playing catch up. Tell me what the pledge to the red, black, and green is before you talk to me about an event. State the pledge to me. Say what the aims and objectives of the UNIA is. Tell me what the preamble is. Tell me what our motto is. And you can't answer that question. So why are you telling me about events?
Yes, sir.
I agree.
When I joined the UNIA, I was forced to learn the pledge over the weekend because the UNIA was having a special program, and I had to open up the program with the pledge. And Council Gerald Fruit said, Ross Marvin, you're saying the pledge. And I just joined the UNI a month ago. But I had to say the pledge within the second month of me joining. And I had to know it because I had to say it in front of an audience publicly in Washington, D.C. Mama Mina and everybody else who's been going to the Tuesday events, has it been successful?
No,
Have we had 30, 40 people coming out on Tuesdays?
no one.
That's what I'm trying to say. And we're still talking about having events? And that ain't producing nothing? I felt bad when I saw my president pandering for membership. Our president should have to pander for membership, because membership should be signing up automatically because we have a system in place for members to sign up.
Whoops.
We don't have that system in place right now.
I agree.
Right now, we don't have, because I can't do everything. I'm not able to send it. There's a lot of members where we don't have their good phone numbers and we only have their emails. I'm not able to go now and go to the emails and send birthday greetings through the emails because I did the phone calls, I did the text messages, but I work 40 hours a week.
So President Ross,
Yes, Sister D.
excuse me for interrupting. When do we have a meeting where we sit down and look at the things you need to delegate?
Not me, that I need to delegate. That meeting is this Saturday coming. We're going over the bylaws so that every officer will know what their responsibilities are.
You said this Saturday?
Yeah, we did it January 6th, and the follow-up to the bylaws is this Saturday, I think February 3rd.
Yes.
So I have a question.
That's the answer to your first question, Sister D.
So within that framework of everyone knowing what their responsibilities are in terms of the bylaws, does that add to, I mean, because my whole thing is whatever my responsibilities are, I should adhere to those, but there are also things that are out of whack because you've been doing everything for so long that we need to catch up on. So we can't fully focus on what my responsibilities are, and President John can't 100% focus on what his responsibilities are because we don't have all the membership filled. We still have some open positions. So what I'm thinking is we need to play catch up. And when we catch up, I mean, we need to focus on our role, obviously. It's like that we need to learn them and focus on them and execute them to the best of our abilities. But in the meantime, we still need to try to get caught up. Like you said, God forbid anything happens, and all this burden is on you. Where do we go? We don't know where to turn. So I'm saying that we should get caught up while we engage in our particular role. Like some of the stuff that needs to be done with our database may not involve my role 100%, but I still want to help so that we get caught up. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but Sister D, all you have to do is focus on your area, and there's enough works in your area to do where you don't have to worry about other area. Each office has a lot of works to be done, and don't worry about offices where we don't have an officer in that office right now. Don't worry about that. Worry about where we have officers, because where we have officers, even though we have officers and we have a plan for that office, they're not connected yet. The officer is not connected to their plan. And that's what President John is trying to do to start off this year, to get everybody connected to what our plan, our bylaws say is their responsibility.
Yes.
So we need to cool out on events until we know our responsibility. How much of us, when President John asked in the mass meeting to give a report of your office? what's been done in your office. He's been doing that, for a few months. Most officers keep their mouth quiet because there ain't no work's being done in their office for them to report.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, sir. So,
Come on, y'all. We need to just take a 6 months and just focus internally.
Focus on.
When we come out of that 6 months, we'll be ready to have events, because the correspondence office will be updating membership information. The membership info office will be making sure that all members have their Black government ID. Each of the different areas will be doing works, so that internal work, so that when we do go have an event now, somebody say, oh, well, I just got my Black government ID last week and they have an event I'm going. But we ain't doing nothing internally to inspire people to come to our external events.
Nothing at all.
Even when we have events, we're not even sending out notices to the members to invite them to the event. Only President John I see sending out notices inviting people to come to the mass meetings and so on. But there's other things other than mass meetings. When we have our events, nobody taking the responsibility to contact the members. We're just talking about the event, like say the members are falling out of the sky and people's gonna fall out of the sky and come to the event. Come on, y'all. You don't build a Black organization from having events. When I was the president, we had about 4 UNIA events yearly. We had the Science Fair with our youth division. We had Marcus Garvey Day. We always had our Kwanzaa celebration on the 27th, because the 27th is Kujichagulia, self-determination. The highest form of self-determination is us building our government.
And this year it was Ujamaa.
Right, so we had it
No,
not on the
it was
second day of
Umoja. It was
Kwanzaa.
Umoja.
We
It
had
was
it on the
Umoja
first day of
unity.
Kwanzaa.
It was unity.
The reason why, Brother Eric, why we should not focus on events, because I'm the treasurer, and I want to tell you right now, there's hardly nothing in our bank account. So how are we going to have events and we don't even have money to put on events? Because we're not contacting the members to pay their dues. But yet we want to talk about events and we don't even have any resources to have an event.
Oops, I was supposed to.
Come on, having events is more than just an idea and let's do this. No, there's a lot of prep that needs to be done.
To bring it back, and to, we're trying to be very diligent with this year. We're using, we're building on the experience President Ross has developed over the years. All of us, the experience that we've developed over the years. They say insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We know what we've done in the past. Now is our opportunity to determine what we want to do moving forward. And we know from our past experience, a key component to that is our leadership and our leadership structure. And that's why I've said, for the past several months, availability and attendance has to be of the utmost importance. So when we look at our executive body, Ross Marvin is here, I am here. Our lady president, I don't think she's here. First vice president is here. Second vice president is not here. Brother Malik and Brother Eric are serving, in capacity of third vice president. Sister Diane, first lady vice president. We don't have a second and third lady vice president. We have Brother Macias holding our business office. Education department is Sister Diane. I'll make that update. Agriculture, Brother Cornelius is with us. Black Cross Nurses, open office. So these open positions, we're basically, as a city, as a region, we're saying we do not have individuals qualified to hold these positions or don't have the voluntary capacity to hold these positions. Corresponding secretary is an open position, chaplain, an open position. Membership office is held by myself. Brother James is not here with us today. Legal Defense Committee, Attorney Emotep is here. African Legion, Baba James is not here. Promotions, Brother James Wilson's not here. UNIA-ACL Constitution, Brother Malik is stepping up to take over that position. Youth Coordinator, Brother James is not here. Community Outreach, Brother Camardo is not here. Financial Secretary, myself. Art and Culture is an open position. And then Recording Secretary, Brother Art. So all of us that are on this list, as President Ross has mentioned, do we know the roles and responsibilities of our office? Do we know who we are held accountable to and who we should be holding accountable? Out of all of the tasks that need to be done in order to sustain and grow us as a division, which of those tasks are under your office? And whose office, if it's not under your office, whose office is it under? And if we don't know these things as a body, we're skipping over the fundamentals. So again, attendance, officers being present, being a part of these discussions. Everyone should have been present for the January 6th meeting, where we kind of started to have these discussions. We were supposed to follow up, I think the 20th. We didn't have time. So now it's being pushed back to February 3rd. So February 3rd will be our next opportunity to really stay focused on the things that need to be done for the division. So that's all I really have.
Yeah, and the events that we should be having is events to fill the open positions. So
And
that's
that's
not an
right.
event. That's the works. That the works we should be doing is the works to fill the open position. Are you an officer? Ask yourself, do you have responsibility for a specific office? And if the answer is no, first, before you think about an event, think about holding down one of the offices in the division. And then if the answer is yes, I do have an office, then ask yourself, do you know what your responsibilities are in your office, and are you doing those responsibilities?
I know what event we could have. You ready for it?
What is that? Can I ask? Yes. Can I ask?
Why
what
don't
that
we
event
have
is?
why don't we have a member calling event where we take 5 people, I'm volunteering, and you
I would
divide
also-
up the membership and say, you call 50, you call 50. We all meet at Brother Ross's office and we do that on one Saturday.
I want to piggyback off of that. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to mute myself. I like that idea. I want to hear what everyone has to say about that.
Yeah.
That is a good idea for event, Sister Diane, but the reality is it cannot be done in one sitting.
Yep.
So,
Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, so I'm saying each
no, but
person
you
gets,
said one day. I'm going by
well,
what
I'm
you
saying
said.
one
No,
day if
we're
we
gonna
get,
work that one day. We're gonna work one day, but that don't mean that's gonna be the only day to work.
thank you. That's it.
To start
Okay.
off, we're gonna meet there.
That's it, Mama Mina, not the only
Well,
day.
well,
But we initiate the process and we get 5 people and I mean, it don't have to be 50, it could just be 10, but that was just an hypothetical situation. You know what I'm saying? So,
based on,
you know what I'm
based on-
saying?
yes, I know what you're saying. Based on the hypothetical situation, you say we get together and we divide it up where if we have 10 officers, each
Right.
officer calling 5 people. But the reality of it, Sister D, is that only probably 30% of our membership, 30 to 40% of our membership have good phone numbers.
Well, that's
So
when
we're gonna
we get
update
to,
that. We're gonna
that's how we
update
get
that.
to
Well,
update our
so
database.
before we get
That's
to the
how we're gonna
calling,
update the.
before we get to the calling, we first have to get the members' phone numbers, current phone numbers.
So why don't we flip the
So-
switch and said, one Saturday we meet, we update the database. The next Saturday we meet, or whenever it's available, whenever it's feasible for everyone. I show up with my laptop. Eric brings his laptop. Mama Mina bring her laptop. You have your computers there, and we update the database that Saturday. We do this.
That is better than doing nothing, Sister Diane, but it's not the best approach.
What's the best approach, my brother?
The best approach is that inside of our bylaws,
it has offices that's responsible for updating members' contact information.
Yeah, but
So in other
Brother
words,
Ross,
anything that's done in
I agree with what you
421,
said.
anything that's done in 421, it falls under a specific office.
Brother Ross,
And
I
until we get familiarized with the works that has to be done in the office, we're still not getting to the best approach in attacking this.
Well, we're doing the best approach with what we have available. For example, let's say that updating the database falls in my category, right? Just I don't it I
Okay.
have to study my rules and whatever. That'll be my responsibility going forward. But for us to get caught up, we have to do something outside the box. So we'll go outside the box, and because I have assumed a couple roles already, and I don't mind taking on a third role. But what I'm saying is, when we get enough bodies and people in the membership, those roles will be filled. If we only have 10 people, we can't fill 40-something roles. So what we do is we get more than 10 people, and there'll be more than 10 people to take on those roles. So we can talk about the membership until we blue, but nothing's going to change if we don't update the database and engage them. Call them. Now, once they're engaged and they're on the meeting, update, pay their dues, what have you. Now they're on the meeting. Now we have 10 meetings if we need to fill all the roles. Talk about the responsibility of the roles that are not filled, and get people to take on a role. Then they have a reason to stay on the line and be attending the meeting as an officer. I mean, it's just an idea.
It's a good idea, but it's not the most efficient.
I would like to, can I build off of that a little bit?
Sure.
It might be more like applicable for the year. While we're on the topic of the calendar, which is what this meeting started with a little bit, like the main thing. I think that maybe we could have the meetings about the bylaws on the same type of level as I don't want to say level, I want to change the word. I would say consistency. I think we should have the conversation about the bylaws and responsibilities on the same level of consistency as maybe the mass meetings. So kind of like how Sister Diane is saying, first of all, at first, I think exactly what Sister Diane is saying. I think that's a very good idea, that a type of like maybe homework could be, hey, at least contact or reach out or clear out 10 people from this. Like if we have 3 people, like we set a list of people just now, two of us could cycle out, and at least as long as we get rid of 10 people, I wouldn't even say get rid of, I would say as long as we process 10 people from our own database, that would be positive for our own like internal functions. Like that's like fasting for the week. Like we know 10 people who do or don't have a good phone number. But I think that's a good idea, and that's that on that. But I think that maybe even further we could have conversations about the bylaws. Since our goal is to have more and more members, I think we should have that conversation about the bylaws more often and more consistent. So let's say I don't know what day it would be on, but hypothetically, let's say it was on a Sunday. Let's say every Sunday we have a meeting about the bylaws. If I was a new member, or maybe not every Sunday, but you know what I mean. So like so I join on a Wednesday. I don't know anything about my responsibilities. I joined quietly that following Sunday because I'm a paying member. I won't say an event. So I went to Garvey Day again. I'm a new member. This is a new year. Garvey Day, I become a member. That's like I forgot what day, but let's say that coming Sunday, everyone's talking about the responsibilities. And I hear, like, personally, I would like to volunteer for the art position in that responsibility, like the representations, because when I read blah blah blah, I won't go on about that. But I would like, just so using that as context, that coming Sunday, I would learn, hey, what is this position here? Oh man, I like art. I'm into music. I'm into development. I'm into this and that. These types of things. I could do those types of things. So then the following week, we probably wouldn't have one, but there would be other things going on. So I have this sense of responsibility because now I know that maybe even not, if it's not this week because we just had one and I heard it, the following week, or maybe even the following week, or maybe even the following one after that. So once a month, I would hear my responsibilities and the existing members would be able to clear up like, hey, you don't know the pledge. How about you back up? We take this responsibility. You clearly have too much on your plate. Does anyone else, can someone take this responsibility from Eric because he hasn't learned his thing yet? Or, hey, can you pick this up? Or, hey, you're a new member. Is there anything that you have any questions about as far as responsibilities go? Is there anything you feel you need to learn, blah, blah, blah? Because there's, as me personally, there were some questions I had coming in, but just as an individual, I don't mind hitting the ground running. I don't really mind that because I like, it doesn't matter. I won't go on about that either. But in fact, I think I'm going to stop entirely. Yeah, I'm going to stop. But does that, does that make sense? I think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was, I think
it makes
that
sense what he's saying.
bylaws. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about that in general?
Brother Eric, you
And-
mentioned some crucial points, okay?
Yeah, I'll
First,
be
before I respond to you, I just want to respond to Sister Diane. That Sister Diane, we could have targeted meetings, get-togethers where we come together and we focus on certain things. That's all good. And we have to have that. So don't think that I'm saying that's not good. I'm just saying that's not the best way. The best way is that we understand that everything that has to be done with the division falls under a specific office.
Yeah.
That's what we got to understand. The works can't just be done haphazardly from left field. It takes place in a specific office. So everything that we need to do for the division and everything that we've been doing since the division started in 2009, it's outlined in a specific office. So the most efficient way to tackle 1,000 things that we have to do is through the establishment of it's 44 offices that we have right now. So until we get, that's just saying, until we get to taking care of our responsibilities as officers, we're not doing the most efficient way. Now, Brother Malik said that maybe the bylaws should be a regular focus, like how we do the mass meetings. That's all in one already. When President John gave us the schedule for 2024, you see on the schedule, the office of the first vice president. And then you have the office of the lady presidents and male vice presidents. That's from the bylaws.
Mm-hmm.
When President John puts in other things in the agenda, that the focus of the mass meeting, that's all from the bylaws. It's not from left field, President John getting that from. So look at the schedule. There's another part in the schedule. It's focused on the secretaries. That's from the bylaws. So it's one. The mass meetings is the topics when we say whether if it's division elections, or we say focus on the secretaries, or we say we focus on the presidents, or we focus on those are the different offices inside the bylaws that we're focusing on throughout the whole year that President John has integrated into our schedule. So the other thing I wanted to say is that we're all adults, y'all. The meeting for the bylaws shouldn't be more than 2 executive meetings, January and February. Eric said the bylaws are something that we should be focusing on every week or every other week or every month. No, the reality is once you've got introduced to your roles in the bylaws for your office, that's something you should be focusing on every day. And we all don't need to come together for one person to focus on. Let me read what my office is about. All right, let me try first doing this one thing. Because we're not asking everybody to do all the responsibilities in your office, because you need a staff to do that. We're just asking everybody, first, know what your responsibilities are. Second, start with one thing. Start doing one thing in your office. And if we all who are officers just do one thing in the office, y'all will be able to do more than what I can do by myself.
Yes, sir.
10 people doing one thing can do more than one person just trying to do 5 or 10 things.
Yep.
So we have to understand that our bylaws are planned into our 2024 schedule. You got to be able to see the bylaws, something in the bylaws each month. And it's there, but we're not looking closely. And then we're not mentally processing when the topic of the meeting says, like March 10th, Office of Correspondence Secretary and Financial Secretary. we're not breaking that down mentally and looking at it with a third eye. That means that we're going to be reading from the bylaws what the responsibilities of the office of the correspondent secretary is and what the responsibilities of the office of the financial secretary is. And that's what we're recruiting people to be part of that office when we have that topic. Jump on board. These are the works that has to be done in these two offices. This is where we need help. Can you help us in this? Can you be part of the staff? Can you coordinate it? Because as it stands right now, we don't have a financial secretary. We don't have a correspondent secretary. But both of those offices have at least 10, 20 works each to be done.
So can I ask a question, Brother Ross?
Yes,
All the extra stuff that you're doing now,
it's not extra.
all the-
Extra means that you've taken care of everything you're supposed to take care of, and now you're doing extra. So it's not
Okay.
extra.
Well, what I mean is all the things that you're currently doing that you listed earlier, does all of that stuff fall under your responsibility as a treasurer?
I would say only 5% falls on my
Exactly.
responsibility of treasurer.
Exactly. So you're doing what I'm saying we need to do. We need to knock these things out so everybody can focus on just what they're supposed to be focusing on.
That didn't make no sense to me, Sister D.
I think, can I,
I
say how
didn't understand what Sister D was saying. I
You
didn't
want me to
understand.
clarify?
Yes, I need clarification because that didn't make sense to me.
Okay. So what I mean is we have to catch up. We need to play catch up because we don't have the amount of roles filled to take care of all of our responsibilities. So when I say catch up, I'm referring to a scenario that I described earlier. Like we just have to catch up. We got to get our membership database up to par. And so when you're sending out a text blast, you're not sending it to bad phone numbers. We need to get that squared
Right.
away. And we still need to focus on what our role is. We're not going to abandon our role because we're cleaning up our database. We're cleaning up our database so we have a good foundation. Our database is our foundation, just like our responsibilities and roles and positions and UNI business. All of that is our foundation. And our UNIA members is like our customer. And we could build the most elaborate mall in Macon or in Paris or wherever. If not one customer come to that mall, it don't matter how pretty the mall is. So what I'm saying is our fundamental thing is our customer database. So we need to clean that up in spite of our individual role. Now that you've updated the role, thank you so much for all that work. We will diligently go through the role and go through it, like it's our job. So we got to go through our job description, understand it, execute it, and execute it well. So that's like a given. We have to do that if we want the thing to succeed. But outside of that now, we have a database which we're operating from, a database that we're building up on. So it's like if you're bringing furniture into a house, a new house, well, let's say an old house, you want to clean up the place and straighten it up so you know where to put the new piece. But we're adding new members on top of a crazy database. Thank goodness we're able to do that. Not that we should always be bringing in new members no matter what. But what I'm saying is, since there is not enough role to take care of the most important fundamental piece as far as membership, we got to clear that up, update our database, and start having and just start adding new members and fulfill our role to make the thing gel like an assembly line. Not probably not the best choice of words, but just gel. It needs to gel and flow. Like, everybody have a role in the assembly line and the thing is flowing along good, and boom, at the end of the day, we have a car. In our case, at the end of the day, we have another new member. I know that probably didn't make any sense either, but that's kind of what hope that clarify what I mean a little bit.
Sister D, I want you to know that you're on the right track, okay? Because you're focusing internally. You're not talking about another event, or you're not talking about a guest speaker. We're finally getting mentally on the right track. So when you say to have a meeting so we can caught up, catch up and thing. What it is that the internal works that has to be done is a continual thing. So even if we catch up and we don't do nothing for the next week, we missed out on a week of works. Because still, almost every day of the year, there's a member that have a birthday.
Right. But when you catch up, one day you'll call 10 people.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as that. There's no such thing called catch up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. You know why there's no such thing that called catch up? Because even when you still read and you see what your responsibilities are, you're going to need training on that. So don't think that we can all come together and have a meeting where we do catch up and we don't even know what we have to do.
Yep.
Ask people on the staff of the Whirlwind. One meeting or two meetings, or we've been meeting since the staff been meeting since November, and still yet we're not at the point where anybody on the staff can go and put out the Whirlwind by themselves. So we don't understand that it's easy to say things, but to manifest it in reality, it takes time. It takes first knowing what the responsibilities are. Second, it takes training on how have the division fulfilled these responsibilities. How did we accomplish them so far? And then after the training, then it takes time for you to learn it. So you're not going to be able to do it as quick as somebody who's been doing it for a while.
The training is the learning period.
It's a learning curve. It's not an overnight thing. So that's why I say it's a continual process. It's every day, every week, every month, every year process. We just have to jump on board and start with the process. Yeah. And you'll see that the given amount of time it takes to get everything right is 1 year. So if we start now on focusing on the bylaws, a year from now, we will be such a efficient and well-groomed organization that when we have events now, you're going to see minimum 50 people come to our events. So the movement is an everyday thing, is a continuous thing. You can't just give it one shot or two shot or three shot. It's a non-ending amount of shots. Ask Brother Art. Because Brother Art has been coming to all these meetings we've been having. He's been coming to the mass meetings, the executive meetings, the business meetings, the Whirlwind meetings. And what do you think, Brother Art?
Secretary meetings as well.
Secretary meetings. So talk to Brother Art. He'll tell you that you can't just learn it in one shot overnight. I will tell you the same thing because I'm still learning myself. It's a continual process. The works and the movement, it cannot be done by one shot, two shot, especially if everybody don't know what has to be done.
Yes.
Because we'll take up half of the time when we first get together just in explaining what has to be done. None will be accomplished. Yep. It's only until we're educated mentally and we know what has to be done and we tried it and then we keep on trying it. And once we get to be able to do it where we can do it by ourselves, then we're groomed. We're seasoned to do it. But we're not even.
Well, that's what I mean, Brother Ross. Let's say Eric and I show up one Saturday and our goal is to do 50 calls. Obviously, we're not going to do the 50 calls until we know what to do. We have to look at the database, see how it's set up, understand the various cells in the database. It is a process, all of it. But maybe the next Saturday we'll be ready to make the 50 calls. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's not going to be an overnight process, but my thing is solution oriented and action oriented to be successful, to create the results that we want. That's how I'm thinking.
Until we all understand that the bylaws have a purpose, it's our plan. Until we put the bylaws first and function within the bylaws, we're still not hitting the beat, y'all. Sister D, the apple in building a local government is too big for us to bite. So we just have to break it into pieces and say, okay, this piece does this. This piece is this office does this. All right. Anybody, how we play catch up is that officer, I'm an officer and treasurer, but I'm helping in membership. So you might be an officer in correspondence office, but then you're helping in the financial office. That's how we play catch up, by people
Exactly.
volunteering and assisting in other areas.
Exactly.
So it's the same thing we're saying, Sister D, and what you're saying is on point. It's on point.
Yeah, it still goes back to what President Ross is saying. We have to know the fundamentals, and it's just 2024 now, and we're still spinning, asking the same questions that we've been talking about since last year. Sister D, to your point, if it's an assembly line, everyone comes in and does their job. But to Brother Ross's point, does everyone know their job? I've got, if everyone can see my screen, this went out November 4th, 2023. This was to our executive officers. During our last meeting at Untitled Chapter on Tuesday, October 31st, an executive decision was made to require officers to write out the responsibilities of their office in their own handwriting. This can be brought to one of our Tuesday meetings at the Untitled Chapter, or a picture can be taken and emailed or text to me for confirmation. So we're spinning our wheels, repeating the same conversations. And to President Ross's point, we have to be adults. Marcus Garvey says in Course of African Philosophy, lesson on leadership, leaders are not children. They must not therefore act as children. Once we receive our assignments, it is up to us to study and understand that assignment. If there's any questions as to that assignment, those questions can be brought to the individuals that gave you the assignment. But as of now, no one has brought any questions or concerns to me. President Ross, has anyone brought any questions or concerns to you in regards to the bylaws?
Not yet, but I say Brother Eric did, because Brother Eric, when we sent it out around January 6th, and Sister Diane, we've been having conversations and so on. But what happened is that I'm not looking for anybody to bring response until they get what you're gonna send them next day or two, and until Saturday's meeting.
Okay.
But that's what I'm looking for responses, because we got to give our officers a time to meditate on it, what it's saying, especially their specific office. And remember, y'all, when it comes to the bylaws, it's a collective input. So please, when you read it from the position is, how can I make it better? Can I fix the grammar? Whoops, there's this left out of this office. This office should be dealing with this. So it's a collective document, y'all. 20 minds is better than one mind. So looking at the bylaws, it's the big picture. And we got to see the big picture. And President John, how much officers submitted their writing of their responsibility of their office?
0. Brother Eric and Brother Malik, I don't think had received that assignment, but I did not receive any written copies of
Got it now.
officers. And that's my point, President Ross. We're keep asking for a level of understanding, and we keep, going around what is being asked, to develop that level of understanding. So, yeah, I mean, I'll hold my comments for a moment.
I think before we have another event, submit in writing what your responsibilities of your office is. Because when you write something, it will get into your head.
Yes.
Looking at it, it's not sinking in. Because we have so much things coming from all different directions in our head every single day.
Yeah, and I was honestly, when I was looking at our executive body, I was leaning towards putting events on hold until we got our executive body fully staffed as well. But that's just my thoughts.
But Brother Art can comment, because he's been coming to more meetings than anybody, our recording secretary. And not only he's been coming to meetings, but he's been doing the works at the meetings. Now he's taking minutes. He's taking notes.
Yep.
He's taking attendance. When he comes to the whirlwind, he's doing research. He's doing historical research. He's coming to the meeting Sunday morning from 9 o'clock this morning until after noon. He's coming to the business meetings. So it's a continual process. It's not a 1, 2, 3 shot. That's why the best way to approach it is to break down the hundreds of things that we have to do into the specific office.
Brother Art.
One comment Brother Art said to me, Brother Art.
Yes, sir.
But one comment you said to me, Brother Art, when he first started meeting behind the scenes on the Whirlwind newsletter, Brother Art said he didn't know that this is the amount of work that it takes to put out the Whirlwind. He thought it was much simpler than that. But come on in, Brother Art.
Yeah, man, I did not realize it was so much work. I really didn't. There's so much to do to put it together. And I'm not a newspaper person. I'm not a writer or anything like that. And it just shocked me, the work that was required to put it together. And now I enjoy it. But it's a lot of work. That's what I got. It's just a lot of work, and everybody can do a little something to help build this thing. That's what it's like working on a house, like building a house. You got different people working on different sections all at the same time to build it. So that's what I got. Race first.
That's an excellent example, Brother Art. Brother Art saves me 2 hours of work. Brother Art and Sister Bertha Rose saved me 2 hours of work each week. You know how they saved me that? Because they're now, they've been part of the staff, they've took over the research aspect where we're featuring the Whirlwind, the historical features. They do that research now, and they send me the information. So now I don't have to do that 2 hours of research each week. For the rest of the year, Brother Art is doing the research for the first and the third Sundays, and Sister Bertha Rose is doing the research for the second and the fourth Sunday. Now I have 2 more hours each week to focus on the bylaws or to focus on developing the Whirlwind package and other things. So it's the time-consuming responsibilities. It's not easy, and there's a learning curve, as Mama Amina says, in everything we do.
Anyone else have any comment on this topic of the works, priorities for the division?
Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Yes. Anybody need help with websites? I don't know. I think I built a pretty good website, you know, even though I get no collateral for it. See, our problem, we have a generic problem with our people, you know, and it comes from Willie Lynch. We are not used to working together and helping each other, supporting each other the way we should. And it's in our nature, for some reason to be that way. We'll help anybody else. We'll help anybody else except our own. Peace and race first.
Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams.
But I think that, Dr. Shams, this body here is different. Those who are on the call right now, that's why we're here, because we come to help.
Yes.
So that's what you're saying goes true for the masses, the majority of us. But I don't think it holds true for these who was on the call today.
No.
Because we wouldn't be here if we didn't want to help.
The thought that's coming to my mind that has come up in the discussion. I don't know if it was Brother Eric or someone, but it is an idea of working sessions to focus specifically on the bylaws. President Ross, I know you said our January executive meeting and our February executive meeting are focused on that, as well as throughout the year we have agenda items that focused on that. But I don't know, I do feel a need as president to make sure all of our officers are trained up as soon as possible. So, if we had this month, we were trying to do another executive meeting in the middle of the month. And President Ross, again, not again, but I'm not trying to put, another meeting on you. But I am trying to put another meeting, if needed, on myself as well as the other officers. If we need to have another meeting throughout the month, then that is what we will do. We will take the time to go over anything that is misunderstood or any assistance for any of the tasks that you're responsible for. If you need assistance completing them, we can discuss those in the beginning of the year. Those are my thoughts. But it all starts with, I'm going to send out the updated bylaws tonight. It all starts with us studying the updated bylaws, and our February executive meeting. We should all have a clear understanding of our responsibilities of our office and be ready to carry out all of those responsibilities.
I don't think any one of us will be able to carry out all of them, but at least let's start from one or two. But what we really need to focus on, maybe one or two responsibilities in the office, but we really need to focus on what our responsibilities are as the executive body. All executive officers have the same over 30 different responsibilities. Let's focus as a group and as a team and work together to knock out what our responsibilities are as executive officers. And when you go to look at the bylaws that President John going to send you, that's office number 4, the executive body. That's where we need to really focus on, because that deals with, we got to know the pledge, that deals with each office got to have a brochure, that deal with our attendance at the meetings, that deals with writing out the bylaws of your office, writing out the responsibility in the bylaws for your office and submitting it. That deals with that's where we need to, this office number 4. You see in the parentheses, it says 41. So this is what all officers have to do. It don't matter what office you're in. If we start here and we work as a team, and everybody's going to have a checklist, so you'll be able to check off each of these things that you do. This here is, if all of our officers do what's outlined in office number 4 of our bylaws, right away we'll get so much power as an organization, as a division.
Yes, sir.
Start with this office and start with 1 or 2 responsibilities in your specific office.
Yes, sir.
Let's learn the pledge. Why don't we have a goal that by end of February, everybody knows the pledge to the red, black, and green in the division? Because there's only probably a few people, 1, 2, or 3 people that knows it on the call right now who could say it from top to bottom. Most of us can't say it unless we read it.
Yeah. Yes.
So there will be a way where you'll be able to track your progress in your responsibilities for your office or your responsibilities as an executive officer.
I'll ask everyone on the call, especially our officers, do we understand what is being asked of us, and do we understand why there's an emphasis on the level of priority of the fundamentals, such as knowing the pledge? Does everyone
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone is in agreement that if we as UNIA leaders, you know, don't have the fundamentals, that we shouldn't overlook that to pursue other endeavors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I also add something else to be clear about?
Sure, brother Eric, go ahead.
So would it be safe to say that this Saturday, well, since you're sending them out tonight, would it be safe to say that this Saturday would be a good time to turn in the written, I guess, understandings of our potential and like responsibilities of what each position would break down in?
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be good. Next, bring it up.
yeah, you can send me a picture of it. But yes, it's just that, you know, as Ross Marvin said, writing it is another level of understanding. I also take writing it as a form of a contract, you know, a agreement that, you know, you have gone through each of these items, and you agree that you are, you know, they are within your realm of capabilities.
We have it easy compared to the first students that took the course of African philosophy directly from Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey had them write out the whole book, the whole course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're not saying to write up the whole bylaws. We're just saying just your office alone.
Yep.
And the executive body office, those two. That's all we're saying, write out those. Because when you write it out, it will sink into your head. And not only will it sink into your head will, the ancestors will start talking to you and say, hey, Ross Marvin forgot this. Let me suggest this on Saturday meeting. Or this is said 2 times, Ross Marvin. We don't need it said 2 times. Take out 1.
Yep. So yeah, we all got homework for our executive meeting, including myself. I will, you know, everyone should understand, you know, not a hypocritical leadership. There's nothing that I'll ask you to do that I won't do myself. So I will set the example of what the expectation is.
Okay, y'all. Malik just stepped up the pot. He said he gonna write his bylaws, his responsibilities for his office. So I guess we gotta all do that too.
Where's he writing that at? He ain't write that in
the more we talk, the more works we're gonna have. Watch, you can see.
I'll have a personal, private conversation. Any other questions on this topic? It's been a very spirited.
I'm gonna keep my damn mouth closed from here on out.
But one thing about Brother Malik is that he opened his mouth and said he wanted to be part of the whirlwind. And he only been to like, since he said that, within the last month, he's been coming to all the whirlwind meetings, and right away he started doing works. He's bringing us historical information that we didn't even get to. So keep on opening up your mouth, Malik, because you follow through with your actions.
100%.
But yeah, that's really what it's about. And again, we do appreciate everyone that has stepped up, all active dues paying members, all officers. I appreciate your commitment. We just, you know, we have a standard to uphold.
Stick a pin, President John, because Malik stepped up to the challenge so much that he sent us, and I want to know how much of us received that from Brother Malik, a draft of a membership package.
Oh yeah.
That somebody gets when they become members.
Yep. Yeah.
These are the things we need to create and have. And Brother Malik, I didn't want this for you to step up and don't be acknowledged for stepping up in the works. So I appreciate that, my Brother Malik, because no, that means that's one less thing that I have to do.
No problem.
but
Yeah.
we still haven't crossed the finish line with what you said, you sent out, Brother Malik. Until we as an executive body gets to chop up and chew up what you sent to us and digest it and take the power from it, we still haven't reached anywhere with what you initiated internal works that we got to do.
Yeah.
You need to find out some way that you can get it to us, even if it's just in an outline format. Because I know you tried to send it through Google Voice to all the officers, but I still haven't seen it.
Thought I sent it. Hold
I
on.
thought it was.
Didn't hear about that
But
either.
yeah.
That's a very, very
Don't
That's
forget
good.
about it. That's all I'm saying. Don't
Yeah,
forget.
I think I'm gonna try either Box or Dropbox to see if that'll be an easier way to transfer.
Did you try zipping it first? If it's too big.
Yeah, yeah, it's zipped. Yeah, I zipped it. It's just a matter of it was I think it needed a passcode on the original one. And I went in and changed it, but I'm not sure if you could do it because that was with Google. So I'm not sure if you needed to have a Gmail to access it or not.
Maybe since it's I'm gonna have to maybe try putting in something bigger and share, or I'm sorry, try putting it in something smaller, like drop it in a Google Doc maybe, just for right now until we find a way better way. But if you dropped it into a Google Doc or something like that, then you could share the Google Doc and then we could just all see that. Maybe try something like that. Maybe that's a very good I want to see that.
That's what he tried initially. He sent it in a Google Doc, but the
Google
password didn't work. So, Brother Malik, can you just take 1 minute and summarize, like how you summarized to me, what is in this package, so everybody at least have an idea of what it
Are
is?
you guys talking about the participatory thing? Or no?
No, this is a welcome pack for when new members join Division 421. This is what they'll get when they join.
Oh, okay.
And it has in it is 4 folders. It's 2 of them that are African Holocaust Part 1 and Part 2, basically are 20 books in one and 15 in the other one, so 35 books in there. And I have a Marcus Garvey pack, which has the philosophies and opinions, Amy Garvey bio, message to the people, and a link with 3 documentaries, plus another folder with Julius Nyeri's book and a write-up on who he is.
Wow. I don't think I got all that.
Yeah, and oh yeah, actually there's another book as well that had 25, folder with 25 books in it. So it was, what was that, 2015 and 25. So whatever that is, that's how many books, PDFs are in there as well.
And what's in the 4th folder? You only told us about 3 folders.
Yeah, it was three books and 2, one with Julius Nyeri and one with Marcus Garvey. So there's 5 folders total inside of the one pack, the whole pack.
And when you say you have videos and documentary, is it the full video? You said about 25 videos or something like that?
No, it was a 3. It's a Marcus Garvey documentary and then audio books for philosophies and opinions. It's in 2 parts.
So that's what we need to be doing, y'all. What Brother Malik has done, and he's just a new member. And already he's doing internal works. Respect, Brother Malik. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Enough respect.
100%.
And he gave it to us just as a starting point. And then I said, Brother Malik, I had a membership package from back in the days too. And we was talking where maybe we can combine it and come up with one membership package. So these are the things that we need to do, y'all. We don't have it done. When a new member sign up, we're not sending them no thank you letter. We're not sending them the Constitution. We're not sending them the bylaws.
I got a little constitution when I signed up, a little book.
Okay, good. You're probably one of the 50% of the new members that received it. But you should also have received the bylaws too.
Should I add the Constitution and bylaws to that, Raz Marvin?
Yes, definitely. That's part of the new member package. And that's why we're
Okay.
trying to finish it now as an executive body, the bylaws, so we can have it to send to the membership or give to the membership. And
Okay, so whenever we get through with that, I'll just add that to the pack.
right, and there's
And
going to
we'll-
be more things too. I don't have everything in front of me
Yeah.
that we had in the original membership package, but we still chop it up because we have to carry that to the finish line.
Yeah, and we'll have it done at least. Yeah, we'll have it ready by Garvey Day.
Exactly, that's a good goal because that gives us
Yeah.
a few months to get it right.
Yeah.
Any other comments on this topic of discussion as we prepare for our next executive meeting?
Yes, greeting family.
Greetings, Brother Quaker.
It's been a very productive meeting, I think personally. I mean, I have not attended here lately. I mean, I've been dealing with some health issues, but I'd just like to offer some suggestion when it comes to events. Anything supporting the UNIA or the Marcus Garvey, or even on Marcus Garvey Day, when we have those vendors there vending, I think all those vendors should be, it should be okay by them, or it should be okay by the organization that if they're gonna vend, that they take maybe 5% of their profit and put it into a fund that's gonna work toward our goal as an organization. So that would be something that I would say or suggest, because I mean, I attend these events and the money is being generated. I think some of that money should be going toward the ideas of it. When we celebrate Malcolm X, we do that every year. But is any money given to a fund that's gonna bring those visionaries what they was really about bringing to fruition? So I think that would be something when it comes to the event, that the people that participate in the event, that they can be putting those funds towards something that's going to benefit the organization in the cause for Marcus Garvey Day, Malcolm X Day, or African Liberation Day, all these organizations. I've been involved with the Pan-African Federalist Movement, along with ULU and other organizations. I mean, I'm just trying to do my part as well, but I think that would be something I would suggest, that when it comes to the events, that we need to think in terms of getting some funding from the people that attend those events and putting funds toward the goal of the organization. So that would be my suggestion.
That's a good suggestion, Brother Kwaku. Very good. I want to bring this to everybody's attention, Brother Kwaku. I want to bring this to your attention and the rest of the officers, that the works are great, but the workers are few. So what you said can work, but it's going to take more than just the suggestion to make it work. So this is what I want everybody to remember, and this is in the last bottom of our bylaws, is that any plan that depends on others to do the work of the plan is guaranteed to fail. any plan that depends on the presenter of the plan and those who are with the plan to do the works of the plan, it's guaranteed to succeed.
Well, what I was suggesting though, those vendors, well, I don't expect those vendors to do the
No,
work.
what you're saying is good, Brother Kwaku. Don't think that what you're saying is not good. What I'm
Okay.
saying is that we need you who's presenting the plan to take the leadership of your suggestion, and anyone else who's done with what you're saying, those people, you and maybe 2 or 3 other people, to manifest what you're saying.
Okay, I got you. I'll follow you. Okay.
Right, because you throwing it out to us, President John, his plate is overfull. My
Sure.
plate is overfull. It's not going to manifest unless whoever's suggesting it take the leadership to make it happen.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
Sure, I agree. And I'll take that part as my responsibility is to maybe get a hold to those people that's vending and offer those suggestions. And I would like to think that those people that participate would see it be a good benefit to offer some of their profits from that event that's going toward the event. So that way they contributing monetarily for the cause, not just to go there and make money. I mean, I attend these events quite often. And we had a discussion just last year. We doing all this stuff, but what is coming of it? Is some of the funds going toward bringing those ideas, those things that's what we celebrated, is that bringing to it all those things to fruition? It'll be a small contribution that those vendors will be contributing to their cause. So yes, I'll take that responsibility to when I attend these events or when I know these events coming up, to try to reach out to the vendors and maybe offer that as a suggestion, and maybe set up some funding. So when people put in it, there's a funding that goes into that and is going toward to the vision of the organization or to the vision of the people that we're celebrating.
Excellent, Brother Kwaku. And that's what we should do, as Brother Kwaku is doing now. Whenever we suggest something, be willing to take the leadership of a suggestion. Be willing to take your suggestion to make it reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though the suggestion may be good, if we're not taking it to manifest it in reality, we're just blowing hot air and we're not getting the benefits of what we're suggesting. So
I agree.
I will always help with any good suggestion, in whichever way I can. But it's impossible for me to take the leadership on all the suggestions that's being made.
Any other questions, comments before we proceed? It's 7:43. We'll probably just move to member share. Any questions, comments on our topic before we move to member share?
President John and Raz Marvin, I sent y'all links in the chat. See if it'll open for you.
Yeah, I said mine says the file is too big to preview. I downloaded this like that. Sure.
Yeah, it's safe. I ain't put no virus or nothing in there.
Not my save. Anyone else? Any questions, comments before we move to member share? And we'll open up for member share. Okay.
I want to stop with saying 2 final things about this if I can. But first, Brother Malik, I'm driving right now. I want to help a little bit, but what if you put it on a type of like a faucet? Did it break up? Y'all can hear me?
A little bit. You're breaking up a little bit. We hear you.
I'm driving from Virginia. I'm on my way to Atlanta, but I'm saying a faucet. What if we put it on a type of faucet, like over the course of maybe some time, instead of sending it all one large file at once to what if we put it on a faucet that lines up with a type of like curriculum? That's a wrong word. That's not the word I want to say, but on a type of schedule, like in the order they should be digested. I think like, cause that might save with the file thing. That might save with that. If you broke it up into segments, I would try experimenting with that a little bit. That's a very, very, very good. That's very good what you put together. But that's all I wanted to say with that. That's what I thought of with that sort of to say.
Yeah, I was trying to make it convenient, so it's just everything in one WAP, not trying to make it come 2, 3 different downloads. Just do everything in one time and be done with it. Because life happens.
Here's a suggestion, Brother Malik. Brother Malik, here's a suggestion. I don't know if you're familiar with Google Drive.
Yeah, that was the original what we did, and then Google Drive, and people seem to have problems with that. So I don't know if it was user error or Google Drive. So
you have to
that's
be
why I tried
careful when
something
you do
different.
that, though. You have to be careful when you use Google Drive. What I'm saying is that when you upload those documents, then it's going to have a link. Then it's going to ask you a question. Do you want to share the information with anybody that has the link? And all you have to send a link, and whoever has that link, they can go up there and they can download those documents. They can read them and download them.
And from there, it can be put into the site. Make it a section. I make part on the site where it's like new member page where they can just click on the things and get to it. That's what happened with the message to the people course. It's just a link on Google Books. It's just a site. So I think that's all I have to. I don't want to drag on that.
Yeah, but I'll revisit. I think I just had the access. Sir, I didn't have the access granted on there. I think that's what the issue was.
That's what it asks you. Do you want to grant access to those documents? You have to say yes to it, and then it's going to ask you specifically whoever has the link. So if they don't have a link, they can't access it.
Yeah.
If they have the link, then they can access that information.
All right, but yeah, I think that's what it was. I just had the wrong access granted on it.
Right. Yeah, that's the tricky part of that, doing stuff like that. I mean, I actually just sent out a file to a brother, some video files, and I sent it to him, and he kind of emailed me back and said that he couldn't access it. When I went back, I forgot to just say, okay, give him access so he can access those documents or those files.
Yeah.
So you have to be tricky. I mean, you have to be aware of that. So anybody, once you when you copy the link, you send it out to any and everybody that requesting it. Then you got to give them access to it. You have to more or less grant them permission to see those documents.
All right.
Brother Malik, I wanted to share with you what happened when I clicked on the link that you put in the chat. So it went to Google Chrome I use, and it opened up a window, and the window said the file is too big to preview, but then it had a download button, and I hit download, and it downloaded to my computer. But when in the download folder, when you look at the file, it's a blank white page. It doesn't have no content within inside.
You're gonna have to get. Yeah, you're gonna have to get
Hold on, let me finish. Within the icon, it doesn't have no information in the icon, and it says it's a .rar program. So I clicked on it and tried to open it, and it wouldn't open. So it said no. It didn't. Not that it say it wouldn't open. It asked me, how do you want to open this file? Look for an app in the Microsoft Store to look for it. It didn't come up with any apps for me to open.
Yeah, WinRAR is how you open that. WinRAR. It's an archiver.
I don't have a WinRAR. I don't know nothing about WinRAR because
you can put it in just put it in search and it'll take you to a site to get one. It's a free download.
No, what happened is that I think it's better to go through what Brother Quaker was saying. Go back to the file and allow access.
Oh
because
no, but that's how it is. The file that I sent is an RAR file because it's so big. I had to compress it to make it smaller.
Well, see, then you can eliminate that because then if they don't have that program, then they won't be able to access
yeah,
it.
most of us ain't
Brother Ross don't have that program that you compress that file with.
Yeah.
And everybody has to have that what you call it, for them to access that file, they have to.
Yeah. And at 2024, everybody should actually have that program already because it's people archive and unarchive stuff every day. But I can take everything out and just send the stripped down version. I just won't put the books and stuff in.
Malik, do you mind?
know for certain that Malik in 2024, you and probably only one other person on the call have that file, that program.
Yeah, me. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm gonna I don't hope you don't mind. I'm definitely gonna tinker with a little bit with that when I get home for sure. I'm gonna let you know about that. Like definitely by Tuesday I should have a couple. If you don't mind me messing with it.
Yeah, no. Be my guest.
Oh, was that everything everybody had to say? What the man? This truck just almost cut me off. But does anybody else have anything to say about about the thing that was just said?
I want to say, please be safe out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. These people are crazy.
We're preparing to move to membership, Brother Eric.
Yep. Oh, I only had two more things. That was the one. I'm gonna try and wrap it. I'm gonna mute and then I'm done. But my second one was actually to brother Quake.
Go ahead, Brother Eric.
My second thing is also kind of quick. It was for Brother Quake, who I haven't been on a call with you so far. So this is my first time meeting you. So, but my name's Eric. That was I hear everything you talk about, and I hear the direction. That's very I like that. That's very interesting. That's all. That's all for that one. I hope you ended up joining some of these other ones. And Brother John, is he in the loop on some, like, when we get, can you send emails and all of that? Everyone gets, like, would you end up getting those as well?
Brother Kwaku, did you get an email for tonight's meeting?
Yes, I did.
Yes, he is in our.
Okay, so it's safe to say that you'll be included in the stuff following also, right?
Yes, yeah. If I got the email for the meetings, I do. It's just recently I've just been I'm dealing with some health issues, so I've just been out of the loop.
Oh, that's what you did say.
Yeah.
Okay. So that leads right to my final third thing. But it's for Brother Ross, but also in general, because again, this is being recorded, so I'm gonna try and keep it a little shorter and how I regularly talk. But I'm gonna wrap up the last one. You were talking about the events, and you articulated everything very clearly. I understand exactly what you mean now, and I think we're on the same page with what you were saying before. I 100% agree. We need to focus on the inside parts. I understand that is actually it with that one. But we've been talking recently about wrapping up events in general and saving it for Garvey Day. But I'm also in the understanding that we are running out of time with the Omanala, with the griot, with how we have there. So would you, Brother Ross, say that it'd be safe to? I've been working on a proposal. I've been asking for permission to move some pieces around just to bring them to you guys and see if that's in line with what would be beneficial. So while I've been gone in these past couple of days, I've been a little busy, but I'm still gonna turn that into the body. Is that still something that you would be interested in reading and looking over what I've been putting together for you guys?
Ross Marvin, I believe that's to you.
That was. I wanted to, so I'll rephrase it a little bit. I wanted to know, Brother Ross, your input on, I've asked already and I know it now, which is what I said in the beginning, but I feel that, well, it doesn't matter actually. I'll leave that part off, but I feel that there are things that we need to attend to, and there are aspects of this that can be definitely included in all of that. I do agree also with that. We need to back up and work on all of those things. So I don't mind putting it on the shelf, but I still would like to turn it in and see your input on if it would be possible to address everything that you've been saying while doing everything else at the same time. So I won't say more now, but my plan was to turn it in tonight when I got home or Tuesday before that. But now I know that we're all going to be in the same place on Saturday. So if I brought something then, would you be willing to work with me a little bit on hearing it out?
Okay, that's directed to me. What I would say, Brother Eric, is two ways to accomplish your goal. Number one way is making sure you have everything that it says that your executive body office number 4, that you have that all checked off. And also whatever office you're working in, you have that all checked off. So if you're doing your works and you come up with a proposal right away by being an officer that's taking care of your responsibilities, you're ready, that's giving you favor with your proposal. But if you weren't dealing with the works as an executive officer and you present in a proposal, it will make it, your proposal won't have as much strength compared to if you was doing the works of the executive body. That's one way to address it. The second way you can address your proposal is that y'all got to understand that the bylaws is our plan. And the plan is made up of all of us. So if you see inside the bylaws, there's something that you want to do, but it's not inside the bylaws, think of how you can integrate it in the bylaws so it becomes a plan for the division.
I understand. I will pass it through those filters. And hey, Brother John, you said we're sending out we have the final, well, quote unquote, we have a good final version that we're sending out tonight.
We have the updated bylaws. I will send out tonight. Yes, and we will.
Sorry, President John.
I want everyone, all officers should review them in preparation of our Saturday meeting.
100%. Okay. Thank you, President Rawson. And you articulated very well, and I appreciate, especially for the sake of like talking from the perspective of everybody watching later, or just in general, even present now. Thank you for like going into depth with all that. But that's it. That's all I have to say. I'm good. Yes. I'm good until Saturday.
You're welcome, brother.
Jules. Okay, 7:58. Let's get through members share fairly quickly. Brothers, as we know, we have to be good listeners. We allow our sisters to speak first. So I'd like to first bring in our elder sister, Mama Amina. Greetings, Mama Amina. Mama Amina, you there?
I'm here.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm on.
Anything you want to share with the family?
Oh no, except that you're still here in California, so I'll be here another week or so or more. But I'll let you know when I get back.
Got you. Got you. Have a safe trip, and we look forward to you returning back to Atlanta. Thank you, Mama Mina. I done muted myself talking. All right, we'll keep moving and hear from our Lady Vice President, Sister Diane.
Greetings, race first.
Race first.
Great meeting. I love these type of meetings, and I think ultimately we have to just take action too. We have to, like, Brother Ross says, if you're gonna put it out there, be willing to see it to a successful completion, or at least the work is ongoing, so be willing to commit to doing the work. And I think obviously Rome wasn't built in a day, but if we're able to just be consistent, I guess, we can make it happen, and we can make the way things look now be, just look a whole lot different by the end of this year. But we have to identify what we're going to do, study our roles and responsibilities, and just commit to making it happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Race first.
Race first. Yes, Sister Diane, your comments reminded me of what we learned in course of African philosophy. Mr. Garvey says that our head and our heart must be in alignment. And when we come to the movement, when we come to the UNIA, when we come to organizations for Black liberation, it's usually a level of passion, a level of alignment. This is something that we desire for our people. But when it comes to knowing exactly how to do that, that's where the head, the mind, the mental development comes into play. So that'll be our focus this year, is making sure we are mentally prepared and understand, again, roles and responsibilities to exemplify what Black government should be, specifically for our region. But thank you, Lady Vice President. We will keep it moving. Next, sister. Let's see. Greetings, Queen Mother Moses. Member number 413. You there, Queen Mother Moses?
Greetings, race first.
Greetings, race
Blessed
first.
love from Jamaica. Yeah. So lots happening, lots. And let us remember that this is the month of mental health awareness. So let us keep our emotions in check and manage it. We are all going through all kinds of things, and we are all wearing many different crowns, and our plates are full. So we give thanks for the commitment, because I and I are the ones we've been waiting on. No one is coming to save us. No one is coming to give us the solution. We are the change that we've been waiting for, and we are the change for self, family, and community, for the generational prosperity and unity that is so important for UNIA and the EWF, the two organizations that we know have been there for the Black people of the world and will continue to be there for the Black people of the world in oneness. My great-granddaughter wants to say greetings. All right, you can tell them greetings.
Greetings.
All right. You see all the youth, them ready.
Yes.
All right, let's give them a chance, because Jack call upon the youths because them strong. I and I all step up to the work when we were youths. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Race first.
Can I jump in and say something, President John?
Yes, go ahead, Reverend Ross, of course.
Queen Mother Moses, y'all got to understand who Dr. Queen Mother Moses is. The UNIA Division 421 was started in 2009 by 7 CBPM members. But the CBPM was started by sisters like Queen Mother Moses. You look at her member number, she's member 48 for the CBPM.
Wow.
Only because they insisted I join. I was there from before. I would have been number 2, as Marvin was supposed to be number 1. But I wanted everyone to step up.
Yes. So I'm saying Queen Mother Moses is part of the energy that started where we are today. And she's still here. And she's been here throughout the whole time. And I just want to tell you, I appreciate, love you so much, Queen Mother Moses, because it was works that we did at the Culture Center that built the CBPM initially, the first 4 years, from 95 to 99. And the Culture Center was very big. Brothers and sisters from out of state used to come to the Culture Center. And when they come, they signed up for membership to the CBPM.
Yes.
So
yes.
I just want to.
Yes.
We have to always recognize those who started what we do, where we are today. And that's what I'm doing, recognize Dr. Queen Mother Moses, because without her energy, we wouldn't have reached to where we are right now at this time. Thank you, Queen Mother.
And I give thanks, but believe me, Ross Marvin, oh my God, we would not have reached where we are without Ross Marvin.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Because he has taken on so many roles. He has done so much. There's a one-man show. I will give thanks, though we need the support to make sure that he is supported, that I and I can continue forward, because it's all for one for all, operating that way is success. Because our God and King Jarastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie says, failure is not an option.
Yes, yes.
Richard, take it over. Thanks.
Thanks first. Thank you, Dr. Queen Mother Moses.
Bless.
Failure is not an option.
Yes, ma'am. Calling from the land of Marcus Garvey himself, Jamaica. Okay, I think we have a couple of the sisters on the line. Next sister will go to Sister Shan. Shan Jones. Sister Shan, are you there? Okay, we'll try to come back to Sister Shan. We will move to our next sister out of Baltimore, UNIA Division 106, Sister Dr. Zafia.
Peace, everyone.
Greetings, Sister Zafia.
It was very inspiring to be here and lend support from Division 106. Learning a lot about how to stay in the conversation and fight for our self-determination and for our principles. So I'm just very appreciative, because it's not always glamour and fun, but it's that love and that grit that keeps everybody going. Nobody's getting up from the table. We just got to figure it out. So peace.
Yes, ma'am.
Peace.
Thank you, Sister Zafia. Yes. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. This is what we signed up for, and we're not leaving until the job is done. Are there any other sisters on the line that did not get a chance to share before we go to our brothers? Any sisters that did not get a chance to share? Okay. Thank you, brothers, for being patient. First brother will go to brother that's always on the line, waiting and waiting patiently for us to get started. Brother Dr. Shams. Greetings, Dr. Shams. You there?
Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Yes. I'm having a lot of success with my website on Twitter. Yeah. No collateral really, but the numbers that I have are enormous. I have over 6,280 odd followers and following on Twitter alone. Yeah, that's just one account. And some of my other accounts that I used to have is like 500, 600, so you add that up, I'm going close to about 8,000 to 10,000 followers and following right now. Yeah, for my website, but no collateral. I don't understand why people don't understand I need donations. I'm trying to make that my replacement income before they do away with this Social Security, because they will cut it off. And they're trying to cut back on my website too, because I'm putting out too much truth about Africa and what the United States and NATO was doing in Africa. Yeah, they trying to cut that down. They want to dog us so bad that they don't even want us to defend ourselves by any means or measure of the truth. I tell you, y'all need to visit my website. It's
What's
not
your website?
helpful. It's in the chat. Go to the chat. It's in it. It's the first link in the chat. The number one in the chat. Go to the chat, sister.
From 5:36 p.m.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you anyway for those who might be on the conference line, the phone,
Yes.
right? Okay, it is not helpful. USA legislations people.braisites.com. Not helpful. USA legislations people.braisites.com. One more time. Not helpful. USA legislations people.braisites.com. And I tell you, it's enormous. If anybody want me to help them develop a website, I understand we're going through a process of getting a new collective website going. I don't know if I can help there or not, but hey, I'm offering. Peace and race first.
Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. Keep it moving. Next brother that we have. Let's see. Council General Attorney Imhotep. Greetings, Attorney Imhotep, member number 165. Attorney Imhotep, are you there?
Yes, Abarigani Africans. Briefly, we saw this week where South Africa presented their genocide complaint to the international court there, the UNIA highest judicial court, complaining of Israel committing genocide against the Palestinians. I wish some African country would bring a genocide complaint against the Janjaweed who are committing genocide against the Africans there in West Sudan, the region known as Darfur. And this is their second time around here. I think the UN report came out that some 15,000 Africans were killed here recently as of late last year, 2023, in a genocidal act. And again, this is a repeat. I think some 20 years ago, so they're back again to complete the job here, and yet nothing is said in the UN body as far as bringing. No country is bringing a genocide complaint against the Janjaweeds, these Arabs who look at all African people as slaves, and I guess it's really no different than the Europeans, what the Europeans look at us. But certainly, that's how my take is, and I've heard from other people too. The Arabs here, they have no respect for the Africans. So I just wish and hope more people take light of what's happening there on the continent, the genocide being committed against our people, and we must take defensive action. Thank you very much. Race first.
You said Darfur, Sudan?
Yeah, what were the regions?
Yes.
Darfur, Sudan?
Correct. West Sudan there. Yes.
Because I haven't heard much about that. Apparently, there's not enough light being shed on it, apparently.
Yes, unfortunately, no, we're not saying anything about it. We're talking about the Palestinians.
Wow. Oh,
Thank you.
so we're fighting for Arabs in one part, and then the Arabs are killing our people in another part.
Correct.
Wow. It's crazy.
And just to be fair, or just to be clear, Sudanese people who identify as Arab, they resemble uh, a lot of us physically in their physical appearance. So it's a nuanced thing. At least Sudanese people that I've met who identify as having Arab background from the northern part of Sudan. Peace.
Okay.
Thank you for that input, Sister Zafia. But yes, we definitely need to look into that further and be informed. You know, these are our people, whether they are civil conflicts or international conflicts or intercultural conflicts. They involve our people. We should be aware as UNIA global government. So thank you, Council General Attorney Imhotep. Any questions for Attorney Imhotep before we proceed? Okay. Let me jump over to our Vice President in Training, Brother Malik. Greetings, Brother Malik. You got anything you want to share with the family?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Malik. Yeah, I tried the R8. We'll keep working on the welcome packet. It's an excellent idea. It is needed. We don't want to have it overlooked. So please make sure we keep that on our forefront.
I'll send you a different link where it's not zipped, where you can just access the file straight up.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Malik. We will keep moving and we'll hear from our agriculture coordinator, UNI member 192, Brother Cornelius. Greetings, Brother Cornelius.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm glad to be here tonight with you. I don't have any report to do or much to share because we've had very good discussion tonight. But I did, after hearing Attorney Imhotep, I did want to ask a question because I've been hearing about the genocide going on in Sudan too. And I was wondering if he knew of any good news resources other than our mainstream for-profit media, because they have nothing of quality to report about that. Does he know some good independent, unbiased report sources of info?
Attorney Imhotep. Attorney Imhotep, are you there?
Well, I just put a link in from the UN site in the chat.
Oh, you did?
Thank you.
Thanks. I'll look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, Attorney Imhotep may have stepped away. I have, well, I don't know the legitimacy or anything like that, but one of the sites that I've frequented is Africa News. But again, I don't know who owns that or, political affiliation. But it is a more legitimate site than, USA Today in regards to information on the continent.
All right, thank you both. Raise first. That's
Yes,
all
sir.
I have.
And Brother Cornelius, look out for the newsletter, because in the newsletter, we'll have 5 links to your answer tonight. So I might not come out till tomorrow because I have to still work on it some more tonight. Me and Brother Art was working on it earlier today. But in the newsletter, we'll have the resources that we'll have with the links is number 1, the African Character Guardianship Channel. So we'll have the link for that, the Africa Chapter Guardianship Channel. We'll also have the link for Womb of Africa Movement. We'll have the link for One Africa Radio TV channel. And we'll also have the link for the Constitution Guardian of South Africa inside the newsletter, the next newsletter. And that's going to be us from the continent speaking up for our issues.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. I'll look for it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Cornelius. All right, we'll keep moving. Just got a few more brothers, and we'll be good for this evening. Our recording secretary, member number 449, Brother Art. Greetings, Brother Art. Got anything you want to share with the family?
Oh yeah, raise first. Last night I was in a meeting with the Baltimore Division 106, and they had a speaker, a real estate management guy, and he had a lot of ideas on how to raise money. And I want to get with brother, I forget the president's name,
Everett.
But I want to get with him to see if I can find out the information to get this guy to speak at one of our open days. So I'll get back with you on that after I talk to the president. Race first.
Race first. That'd be wonderful, Brother Art. Appreciate that. Brother Eric, I think you one of the last individuals. Member number 477, Vice President in Training, Brother Eric. Brother Eric, you have anything you want to share? I see Brother Kwaku. Got you next.
On another orphan today.
You broke up a little bit.
Yeah, no. Oh no, I was just saying that there's nothing I couldn't wrap that I either haven't already said, someone else hasn't said, or that wouldn't fit better on a different day. I'm just thinking about how this meeting here, digesting all of that really. I guess separately, while I was in Virginia, I saw this picture. There was a sign. I go places a lot outside of this, joining this at all. I do other things, and in that has to do with some traveling. And I was at this African thrift shop, and on the sign, they were closed at Sunday, but on the sign, there are people, 10 people, and they're going to Ghana. So I just thought that was interesting. I saw that. But nothing. The only other thing I would do is just double down on everything everyone else would say, and I would pass my time to somebody who has some more articulate things to say. So, I guess peace.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Brother Eric. Dr. Chandler, see you got your hand up.
Yes, race first.
Race first.
Yeah, what I put on Twitter about Africa, I get a lot of that information from YouTube. Africa is always posted into YouTube to let the world know what's going on. So if you check out YouTube and you do a search for any country in Africa, you should be able to find out some good information. And I tell you, when you go there, click the link to like and subscribe and share it with someone else, because that's what keeps it going, and that's what they like you to do. So any country in Africa you want to know anything about, go to YouTube. Peace and race first.
Race first.
Thank you, Dr. Shams. All right. President Ross, do you want to have the last word? Do you want me to go first, or you want to go now? I wanted to give you the last word.
I'll go now.
Okay.
I'm not going to go long. I'm probably going to go just probably 20 seconds. I just want to thank everybody for listening to me. And Dr. Queen Mother Moses reminded me that we have to keep our emotions in check. I hope I wasn't being too emotional tonight, but I don't consider it emotional. I think I consider it, I can talk now because I gave the younger generation leadership in 421 the last few months to do whatever they thought about. I didn't fight it. I didn't knock it. I didn't say, no, don't do it. But now I can speak up. So that's all I'm doing. Grace first. Thanks for everybody for being here. It was a very powerful meeting.
Race first. Thank you, President Ross. You always have, a space to speak and share your thoughts, whatever that may be. You have done an excellent job giving the youth a platform. You gave us, complete freedom, as you said, these past 4 months. But not only that, the work that you've put in over, 20 plus years. You definitely have earned the right to speak your mind and speak your heart. So, you're always, no matter what you say, uh, we're okay with it. You apologize for that was the first time I've ever heard you say a curse word. So that was a moment for me. But this is your house. This is your house just as much as anyone else's. Okay. I will share my comments. Let's see. My comments are more of a presentation slightly. So I'd like to give me 5 minutes. So I wanted to touch on, someone has something to say?
I was about to say something.
Hold on, Brother Eric. Go ahead, Brother Eric. What you saying?
You said you're about to do a presentation. I'm driving. Could you describe I'm not saying like verbatim, but could you describe a little bit of what's on the screen just as you're going along?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. So wanted to talk about, we've been talking about events. It's all of this kind of, it's divine. We've been talking about events, our events, planning events, and so forth. We also talk about organization and unity. And we talk about our position and role as UNIA, as Marcus Garvey's government that he created. Yesterday, there was a unity banquet. This was the 8th annual unity banquet hosted by some brothers in the Nation of Islam. In these banquets, they invite us as UNIA, Nation of Islam, obviously, Morris Science Temple, and the students of Dr. York, as well as other groups, Christians, and other organizations. My point is two things. One, when it comes to having events, I believe what I'm getting ready to present is what I would consider a standard for how we would want to put on events. When I think of putting on events, successful events, obviously there's levels and scales, but what I'm getting ready to present here would be what I would consider a average successful event. It's not a Garvey Day. It's not a private ceremony. This is a public gathering. And this is what, when we think of numbers and things like that, this and presentation, what I'm getting ready to show is what I would expect us to be able to do for our events. So this took place last night, and again, when it comes to organizing and coming together, this is 2024, and we have to ask ourselves, in January, we've got a couple of days left. How many opportunities have we had to come together as Black organizations and Black groups? And of those opportunities that have been presented, how many have we participated and supported? This is the first one that I know of. And we did the best that we can to support this event. This is Brother Gerald. This is Brother Gerald. Some of you all know him. He's one of the main organizers for these unity banquets, bringing the different organizations together. This is Student Minister Stanley Muhammad. He is basically Brother Gerald's student minister. There's another picture of him. Picture him again. That's me. I was up there. They invited me to speak, obviously. So we represented Mr. Garvey, UNIA, the Nuwapians, Nuwapians again, sisters. this is kind of what I wanted us to see. How many people are there? There's about 50 people there. 10 or so representing the Nuwaubians, 10 or so representing the Nation of Islam, some not representing any particular organization, and then you have a few representing Mr. Garvey and the UNIA. So, one, we've struggled to put on successful events. And then two, when other organizations are putting on successful events, we are not attending and learning how they are doing that. At this event, Sister Diane was there, and she was there as I spoke with one of the lead organizers, the owner of the establishment, Minister Stanley Muhammad, and asking him, how do they do this? How much money do you expect to put out to be able to feed 50 people? How much, how do you determine the cost of the tickets based on how much, it costs to produce and how much you're trying to bring in? If we're not, having these discussions, developing these ideas, I don't understand how we ever plan to be successful at having regular events if we're not attending regular events. So just a call to us again to carry out our responsibilities. This is Brother Akhenaten of Moorish Science Temple, Temple 13. He's the Grand Sheikh, Nuwaubians again. But again, the community is looking for the Garveyites. They are looking for those that represent leadership in regards to Black organizations and Black liberation. The Moors are present. The Nuwaubians are present. The Nation of Islam is present. I am asking, where are the Garveyites? And that's a very real question. Obviously, the elders, Brother Ross, Attorney Imhotep, anyone in a position of elder, health concerns, things like that, not expected to be present. But there should be more than 3 Garveyites in attendance at a unity banquet. Again, this is a public event. It's being publicly displayed. So the proof is in the pudding, as President Ross said, and as the course of African philosophy teaches. The proof of the pudding is in the taste of it. So our numbers speak for themselves, and our output speaks for itself. So again, I think it just reemphasizes that we need to do better about preparing ourselves to be able to put on events continuously, successfully. And until we really take that serious, I agree with President Ross that we need to take a step back and focus on the fundamentals. But that was my presentation for today. Wanted to, highlight the event that took place last night. And I want to end with Sister Diane. If there's anything that this was your first time attending this type of event, I want to know your thoughts as a first time attendee.
Well, it was about unity, and from that point of view, it was excellent. It was well attended. They had adequate amount of food for everyone that was in attendance. They had some entertainment. And from each of the various organization, there was, representation and speakers. And I thought it was well put together, and the venue is great as well. And I was that gentleman, the owner in the gray suit.
Yes.
So he was even extending that in the future we can even have events there if necessary. So I enjoyed being there, and I thought it was well put together.
Yes.
An exemplary event for us to follow.
Yes, exactly. And that's my point. We know we can do better, but I don't see us pursuing these opportunities to get better. So until we get a grasp of our responsibilities, until we can display levels of, as Garvey said, small success, then we should not be trying to put on any type of major events where we're inviting others, and we're not truly prepared. So that's all I wanted to say. This was a great event, historic event, 8th annual Unity Banquet. I have never seen anywhere in the history of Black organizing where the UNIA, the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, and the students of Dr. York have consistently put on a demonstration of unity for 8 years straight. So if this is not an example of what our teachers have taught us, if this is not the vision, that our teachers told us to create and to support, then I need to know what is. Because I do not see us collectively supporting these types of events. So that's all I've got. This is 2024. It's going to be a year of accountability. If we're not ready, if we're not capable, if we're not available, then we need to, find individuals that are. And that's my job. That's my responsibility. Going to events like this remind me what these passionate individuals look like, and remind me of what I should be seeing and what I should be feeling amongst my own people, especially our own membership. The camaraderie, the family. We know what again. We know what success looks like. So if this is not something that we can create or reproduce, we need to stay in the classroom. Is all I'll say. Questions, comments as we close out.
What was his answer?
What was
the brother's answer? You said that you asked about like, hey, how did you? What type of information goes into putting this type of thing together? How did you cross-reference the amount of people coming up and?
Yeah, basically it came down to people will support a good cause was how it was presented. People will support a good cause, but I have to say, our record over the past 4 months, we have had some support, but not as much as we need, but the sentiment was, and if we made it more of a annual thing and not a regular thing, it could be more impactful. But let the community know what the needs are. Put on, provide the best resources that you can. Find out what the cost of that is. So, if we wanted to put on an event, a dinner for, they had rice, cabbage, and fish.
And veggie.
Yeah, or veggie lasagna. The veggie lasagna plate, they were charging 25. The fish plate, they were charging 35. I think it didn't take them more than, and he didn't have all the information. He told me he would connect me with his daughter is the one that has all the numbers. But basically, what we got probably cost no more than $10 per plate to create. But then you add on $15 or $25 of contribution. And that's how they did it. But at the end of the day, you still have to have that upfront money to be able to acquire the goods, and then you have to be able to put on a successful event so that the funds come back on the back end. We've done well on the front end, but we've never really been successful enough to create a significant profit. But a good event for us is breaking even. But yeah, understand the cost per plate, add an additional contribution, promote it. They promote it for about a month and a half. And people will support a good cause, and that is essentially how our events have worked in the past.
And one more thing about what you said. Did the plates move?
Did the plates what?
Did the plates move? Oh, I'm sorry. Did like they the plates they were saying had like a $10, about that's what they put in, and then they marked it up a little bit more. So did the plates sell? Like, did they have did people eat? Did it look like everyone had a plate? So about that
Everyone
many
had a
people
plate.
times
Everyone had a plate.
yeah,
50
that's
times
amazing.
25.
I don't know how they
50 times 25 is the minimum that was brought in.
that's amazing.
So yes, again, these are examples. These examples are out there. We are trying to duplicate success, but I don't see us studying the examples of success. And I would say that there are several examples, but this one is specific because it's a Black organization promoting race first, not receiving any type of government assistance, and producing events on their own dime, their own back, their own hands. That is what Mr. Garvey taught us as a people, and other organizations are showing us how to do that, which is ironic. But that's the position that we're in 2024. We will not get any better unless we address it. So this is us addressing it. And this is me reminding us that we can do better as a group. And we have an obligation and a responsibility to lead. Mr. Garvey did not come for us to be followers. We are to be leaders. So that's all I've got. Through the next months, I think this when it comes to events, when we have the ideas of events, this is what would come to my mind. Not us hosting an event or putting on an event, but us supporting other events. That is what we need to be doing for the next until Garvey Day, really. But we've got to learn how to be successful putting on events. Questions, comments, concerns as we close out? Okay. Okay, that's all I've got.
Brother John?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I want to come up to date with my dues. What would I send them to?
What's your preferred method? Cash App, PayPal?
Cash App, yeah.
I will drop this in the chat right now. Thank you, Brother Kwaku.
Sure, no problem.
Yes, and that's, thank you, Brother Kwaku, bringing us back to the original. I love that, bringing it full circle. The first thing that we talked about tonight was our calendar. That was on the 15th. We're getting ready to close out. 15th January. Oh, it's inbox. Okay. Thirty seconds. So the first thing that we talked about from a calendar perspective is that since we're in the month of January, we should focus on paying our membership dues. So $46. Let's knock this out in January. We don't have to worry about it again until 2025. But thank you, Brother Kwaku, for reminding us. Our Cash App, $ UNIA-421 fund. PayPal, paypal.me/UNIA-421. $3 a month plus $10 annual assessment. All right, it's 8:45. Thank you, brothers and sisters. This has been an excellent meeting. Officers, we have to carry this momentum into our upcoming executive meeting, so that when we come back to our members on second Sunday in February, we can show some progress. We can provide some reports. But that is the goal, that's the intentions, and that is my focus. I have a very tough job. We all have tough jobs this year, but in regards to responsibility and accountability, I have to make sure all of our officers are aware of their responsibilities, and if there's any issues, we need to discuss those and clarify those as soon as possible. But I really do feel good about this year. And with that, we will close out. Got me, Sister Diane. Sister Diane, are you there? Stepped away. Brother Malik, would you be able to close us out tonight? Sister Diane, you there?
I am.
Would you do this the honor of closing us out?
Okay. Everyone, put your black fist in the air. One God.
One God.
One
God.
one aim.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One
destiny.
Africa.
Africa.
For the Africans.
For the
Africans.
Those at home.
Those
at home.
And those abroad.
And
those abroad.
Race first, brothers and sisters.
Race first.
Safe travel, Eric. Brother Eric, safe travel.
Safe travel.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys.
Peace.
Okay.